What's up, Glassman boppers, TYSO goblins, little people, big people, small people, tall people, fat people, skinny people, but not people in the middle. My name is Rick Glassman, and welcome to Take Your Shoes Off. This week is a very, very, very special episode. So I'm in London right now. I am about to be heading out to Sweden for a few days. And as everybody knows, boy, will my arms be tired, blah, blah, blah. So for those of you who watched TYSO with Mark Maron last week, in my intro, I discussed some sexual stuff that happened with my girlfriend where I just want to let everybody know that she's okay. She's great. It's called hormesis. She now has a stronger vagina than ever. And the two of us together are reaping the benefits of that. Her vagina actually set up these lights, which thank you very much, Betty, for setting up the lights. We have new lights in the place now. You know, this little podcast we call TYSO is working its way up. So thank you guys so much for supporting this. I asked you guys last week. I'm going to ask again. One of my goals is to get on the new and noteworthy on Apple Podcasts. And if you don't have an iPhone, you could still do this by using Google Play. But if you haven't yet, even if you're just a YouTube watcher, go over to Apple Podcasts or Google Play. Look up Take Your Shoes Off, subscribe, give it 5 stars, leave a comment. It would really help me out. I asked you guys to do that last week. I got 50 new 5-star ratings, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Mark Maron, for the shout out. I want to play this. This is so cool.
I would like to say this, though. I don't do many podcasts, but I did. This kid, Rick Glassman, I don't know if you know him. He's a comedian, young guy. He was also on the show Undateable with D'Elia and Funches. He asked me to be on his podcast. I did not know what to expect, did not know there was a video element, did not know it was goofy and weird. I should have assumed as much, but I decided to do the podcast. It's called Take Your Shoes Off, and you can listen to it wherever you get your podcasts, or you can watch it on YouTube. You can get it through, I think, rickglassman.com, but it's a rare opportunity to see me pretty goofy, and I had a good time, and I did goofy shit. And I like the kid. But that's as far as I'm going to go. I have problems with him, which is one of the reasons I went on his show. But it was fun. And I don't say that too often.
It's a cool shout out. Come on. And to be shouted out on one of the bigger podcasts with a new friend of mine, I was flattered. I did not expect for him to mention my podcast on his. All right, this week's guest is Mark Normand. Mark Normand is a stand-up comedian. He has done 12 late-night appearances. I was introduced to him by so many DMs and tweets saying that I should get Mark Normand on the podcast. So I looked him up and I watched his stand-up. He's so funny. He's a biter. You know, what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say sharp, but that makes me. He is sharp, but sharp makes me think of like quick-witted, which he is. But I'm saying it more like sharp, like a knife. Like he gets in there. He has a podcast called Tuesdays with Stories, and I didn't know Mark. I've had a few people come over and take their shoes off that I'd never met before, but this was probably the first time somebody came over who I did not know at all. He didn't know me, and like that, we connected. He's got a little bit of an autistic thing going on. We talked about that a little, and we see things very similarly, which is fun for me because I don't meet too many people on the same frequency as me. We open the hood a little bit and we discuss kind of the math of comedy, and it's not as pretentious as boring as it sounds. It really is more a look into how we see things. I don't know. A new friend maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're friends, but he is someone I would like to be friends with. He lives in New York. I live in Los Angeles. Anytime we would see each other, of course, our arms would be tired. But again, I do not want to have to get into that. But this is a really good episode. It's a longer one. When we hit the 2-hour range, it's usually, I think to myself, this is a longer one. So, but what's short? 90 minutes? Who cares? We do a lot of snap bits, as you guys know, and we snap, and then some, I'm wearing a mustache or our shirts change or whatever. But the time in between those things of us setting up, I feel sometimes it's a miss to not show those moments. Stick around to the end of this. There's a moment where Mark and I are fucking each other. Sucking each other's dick more specifically, but sucking and fucking and doing that kind of thing. And the conversation, it's really poetic and sweet to see who should be sucking and who should be fucking. And I started a Patreon last week. You could get to it by going to rickglassman.com, and there's a link to the Patreon, or patreon.com/takeyourshoesoff. There's a few tiers, but basically it's offering live Q&As, exclusive merchandise, sneak previews to unedited audio-only versions of the podcast. We release from the vault a podcast I do with my buddy John DeWalt called The First Episode. Every month we'll be putting out a new episode of that. The only place you could check that out is Patreon. Shout outs on the podcast. Certain tiers, they get Glassman bopped. So a huge shout out to Christopher Lance. Christopher, thank you for being my first Patreon. Also, I need a Glassman bop him, and I asked, give me your social or something so I could look you up and find something at Glassman bop, but Christopher didn't get me any of his information. So I don't have much to go here, so I'm going to give it a go, but I do need more specifics normally for a Glassman bop. But I will say, hey, Christopher, nice shirt. Where'd you get that? The fucking toilet? Or did you get it from a garbage can? Why don't you why don't you wear a shirt that fits? And those pants, where'd you get those? The trash also? And those shoes? Well, you have a time machine? Because it looks like you got them from 1990, and they're not even a cool retro shoe. They just look old. And why are you wearing that hat? So, stuff like that. It's $3,000 a month, and I'll Glassman bop you. Obviously, if you want to pick up take your shoes off sweatshirt or socks or beer cozy or ice cube tray or car, you could go to rickglassman.com and pick that up. Promo code is back out there. Boobs for 10% off. And I guess all I could say from here on out is, be kind to each other and love one another. And if you're a girl and you don't like giving blowjobs, you don't have to do it all the time, but you should do it sometimes. And if you're a guy and you don't like going down on girls, don't do it. Who gives a shit? My name's Rick Glassman. Scoot to Bubbity Blue. Babe, I made a joke. I'm just trying to connect to the guy audience a little bit. I'm joking around, of course. I think that all guys should go down on girls. Really, truth be told, I don't think girls should be doing that kind of stuff anymore. I think it's 2020 and enough with the blowjob. If you ask me, blowjob's done. The only thing girls, women, ladies, people should be doing now is respecting one another with consent, with, buying them lunch. And those are the main two. So, scoot doo. Blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah! Let's do it.
All right. Boy, I got the hot seat, eh?
Yeah.
Woo, baby. Comedy. Ah, shit. There we go. Look at these arms on this thing. Man, you got a real setup.
I got a setup.
I like it.
these arms. These arms and my water cooler are two things I've in the kitchen.
Oh.
Literally the
Water
talking.
cooler talk.
Yeah.
Did you see The Office last night?
Yeah. You could do that kind of stuff. You could talk about the show The Office, or you could be at the office talking about your life.
Right.
But I always wanted a water cooler, but I had roommates and I never got one because it's like, fuck this place. This isn't mine. They're going to shit and piss on my water cooler.
Good point.
I got a new place. First thing I did was I got a water cooler.
Good for you, Fatty. You deserve it.
And I still look at it. I still go over to it sometimes and I'm like, I'll have some water.
Good.
Point being, these mic arms, are my podcast studio version of the water cooler. I wanted these. I had bullshit ones for a little bit. And it's like, let's do it. Let's have like a real place.
Good for you.
Thank you.
That's a very adult thing. I want it. I'm going to save up and buy it. And I like that you appreciate it. A lot of people have shit and they go, they throw it around. It's good to appreciate.
Yeah, man. I love to look at stuff.
Yeah, I do that same thing. I have all my late nights on my wall. Like I frame the cue card.
Yeah.
And people go, geez, what are you, weirdo? You got to praise yourself. I'm like, no, I'm proud of it.
How many late nights have you done?
12.
You've done 12.
Something like that, yeah. I've done 8 Conans alone. Doing it again in March.
You didn't do it with anybody else?
What do you mean?
I was making a joke because you said alone.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm not Rory. I don't do it with John Doerr.
Oof. We'll be right back with a word from our sponsor. If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll certainly find them.
Hey, we're back, folks. I got to tell you, it's a good-looking rug you got there.
Thank you so much. We could get those at Marshall Rug Gallery.
Ooh. What do they sell? Toupees? And you'll come by to pay for a rug. I'll see myself out.
What was the noise that you made? Like that was instead of a drum kit? A cat?
It's supposed to be a cat. Thank you. Everybody thinks it's a duck, but it's a cat.
Ducks are when you fart.
Right. That's a queef.
What do you mean? You're saying that people say you sat in a duck. No.
Yeah, Yeah, you sat on the duck. That's a fart.
Yeah, why queef?
Because I like to shift fart to queef.
Shift fart to queef.
I'm trying to make queefs more in the commonplace, or whatever the term is.
I think it's commonplace.
I don't know. I feel like queef is still a little taboo. I mean, ladies queef and they feel weird about it.
Guys fart and they feel weird about it.
I own a fart. I love a fart.
And some girls love a queef.
I haven't met a queef lover. I would like to. I'd probably marry her.
You know, the first time I met Tiffany Haddish was at
Yeah.
the Comedy Store during the Friends and Family potluck
Okay.
on a Sunday or Monday night, and her act was going on stage, sitting on a stool, and queefing into the microphone.
Get out of town.
Look at her now. Now she's friends with Will Smith.
Wait a minute. Is this on a special? Because I feel like I would like that better than other things. Better than Girls Trip. I'd rather watch a queef trip.
Okay, well,
Hey, I'm on a real queef trip here.
okay, and we're back. Yeah, so that was for those of you who are listening and not watching, that was a queef trip commercial.
Yes. Good. Ebert loved it.
Is
The
he the one?
movie.
Is he still alive?
No, he died.
Both
But
of them dead now.
both cancer.
Both have passed.
Yes. Everybody's dead. It's crazy. Kobe.
Yeah. You come in here with an energy, dude.
Do I? I'm just talking. I'm hanging.
No.
Thought we were hanging.
This is not a bad thing at all.
Okay.
This is for those of you who don't know, who aren't in the living room with me. You told me, tell everyone what you just did. You woke up at 4:00. You just got into Los Angeles how many days ago?
I got in on Monday.
The horse's name was Monday. So you got in on Monday. Today is a Wednesday.
You got that right.
You did a car show.
Yeah, today, yeah.
You did Theo's podcast.
Oh, yeah,
You
gang,
literally
gang.
drove here from there.
Yep, got that right.
And you-
15-minute drive.
3 stand-up sets tonight.
You better believe it. Well, what else am I doing? Fingering my asshole? I got to get out of the house.
Do you
Also,
have...
I don't come here that much, so I'm trying to maximize.
Right. There's a little bit of an extra rush you have because it's like there's time constraint.
Yes.
Do you feel that energy is as finite? I feel it's so finite, and I didn't figure that out until a couple years ago. Like I have a star like in Mario Brothers, and I'm
Right.
unbeatable, and everything I do is the best. And then all of a sudden, I'm out.
Oh, really? You
Yeah.
crash.
I don't know. I think I don't because I have like maybe it's a semantic. I have it, and then I go, okay, I'm done.
Interesting.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel sad.
Uh-huh.
It's just I'm not. I gave the funny. I have.
Oh, really?
I have 45 minutes of funny every day.
Wow, that's it?
That's it. So if I have a long set that night, I can't be funny all day.
What?
Sometimes I'll be funny. And
I've
then it's
never
like-
heard of this.
Yeah, I got 45 minutes of
That's
funny.
no good. You gotta stretch that. It's like when you start jogging, you can go for 10 minutes, and then the next day you go for 11. Then by the end of the year, you're doing a half hour. So you could push it, fatty. You gotta make it work.
Could I deconstruct what you just said?
Please.
10 minutes. The next day, you're at 11 minutes, which means it's 1 minute a day. It takes you another year just to get 19 more minutes.
I can't do math. I'm not Asian, but I think there's some truth to what I'm saying. You go to the gym one day, you're benching 100 pounds.
Sure.
You go to the gym a couple more weeks, you're benching 110. You gotta.
But
you gotta try.
at what point do you max out?
You go till you puke. I mean, you keep going.
But you bench and you do 210. At some
Yeah.
point, you have to take in enough calories. You're benching 345. When are you ever benching 700?
Well, I think within reason, eventually you'll be funny for 4 hours, and you're like, all right, 4 hours is good. That means I can do a pod, I can do a
Right,
long
right,
set, and I can hit on a girl and be funny and get laid.
Yeah. Well,
So-
let me qualify that.
Okay.
I don't just mean funny. I mean like on. I mean
right.
mustache bits and
Yes.
baby and shtick and energy and physical.
I got a solve for that too.
Go ahead.
A solution. Excuse me.
Did you fart?
No, a queef.
Okay.
But for that, you gotta find a balance of being on and like what you can hang with.
Yeah.
You know, because right now you're on. You got a mustache, fucking under an ottoman. Like, that's pretty on. You know, so you got to work that on, bring that down, and then bring the energy to they got to even.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm
That's
doing a bad job.
No. Absolutely. That's what this podcast. We don't know each other.
Yeah.
Right. So, for those of you who know me, that's great. I get confused sometimes with how much exposition I get to get out. So let
Okay,
me just
bring
get
it
this-
on.
I'm going to just try to be as efficient as possible.
All right.
This
hit me.
podcast has forced me to be okay in conversation
Right.
when it's titled as a comedy.
Ah, that's fascinating.
Right? That makes sense?
Yeah, completely.
So when I first started doing this, I set up these cameras, and I thought, because we obviously have very funny friends, access
yeah.
to some of the funniest people in the world.
Sure.
I've had them in my living room. It's fun to do bits. Oh, fuck, that would be fun if I had that. So I thought I want to set up some cameras and just record conversations, and just if something funny happened, just mark the time and clip it, right?
Yeah.
But my co-producer and neighbor George, who listens to podcasts all the time, says it doesn't have to be comedians in cars getting coffee.
Uh-oh, we got a ding-dong.
Yeah, let me get that.
Uh-oh. Is he going to order some Uber
Hard
Eats?
drives.
Hard drives?
Hard drives.
Jeez, how many pods are you recording there, Sloppy Jalopy?
many.
All right, well, Rick is opening the door. I'm gonna narrate this. He's looking out there. Oh, there's a FedEx guy. He's a short brown man. There's a package coming in. That's a nice, thick, yellow package from Amazon.
Are you talking about the brown man, or are you talking about the package?
I'm talking about this envelope you got here. Or is it
People love
envelope?
packaging. Should I tap into that?
Yeah, everybody loves a package.
Right?
I mean, except if it's Louis C.K.'s. But everybody likes getting a package from UPS.
But don't you see people, those YouTube videos are like people are like the unboxings.
Oh, those are huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Well, the curiosity's there. When we were kids, we were such vandal sewer rat cunts. We would follow the UPS guy and steal them off doorsteps. We were bad kids.
Wow.
It was New Orleans. It was the 90s, And it was cool because you get some slippers, you get a toothbrush, you get
Who's getting toothbrushes
a
from
maxi
UPS?
pad, you get a hard drive, you get a laptop, you get a camcorder. I mean, it was a stuffed animal, a Rubik's Cube. You never know.
Oh, you're just looking around the place.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of fun objects in here.
Love an object. One of my best friends is an object.
Ah, my wife's an object. Or at least I treat her like one.
Cut to a clip.
Sure.
Just a video of you fucking cunt or whatever you. No disrespect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the unpackaging is people open it and they do like a whole thing, and I don't have a whole thing, but I will say we are now sponsored by G Technology.
Ooh. Is this free stuff?
No, I bought these.
Damn.
Yeah, I bought these.
Too bad. You should sponsor him, G. G Tech. Nice.
What were we just talking about?
I gotta say, I'm worried the cutting is killing momentum. I feel like we could be really running with some stuff if we didn't. I like this.
We don't have to do. I don't have to do any of the cuts.
Oh, okay. I just feel like let's roll. I feel like we're getting somewhere. But then the cut will kill the boner.
Well, that's unless you get Blue Chew. It's cut to a Blue Chew ad.
I have one on me actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you use Blue Chew? Do they sponsor your podcast?
They sponsor us, so I'm trying it out. I was a Viagra loser for a while, and boy, does that work.
Yeah.
My God.
I used Viagra once years ago. It did not work.
What?
Cialis did.
Interesting.
What I found out is that these pills do not give you an erection. They keep it. And you still have to be sexually aroused.
Oh, I don't like that.
And there was a girl that I was, this is a long story, and maybe we'll get into it, but I don't want to at the moment.
Okay.
But basically, at this point in my life, she was like, what is this girl doing with me? So I'm already nervous.
That's where I'm at.
With your wife?
Every woman.
Every woman.
Any woman in bed with me, I'm going, what are you, crazy? You're making the biggest mistake
All
of your
of
life.
them?
Mostly,
That never
unless,
changed?
I mean, unless it's like my aunt or somebody who I'm like, oh, this is attainable.
Right.
But if it's a regular, young, attractive lady, I'm questioning everything. Like, is this a test? Is this a trap? Is there cameras? Are you gay? What's going on?
I would argue it's harder to fuck my aunt than a hot chick.
Nah, my aunt's pretty trashy. Real whore. Big, fat lady and a rascal.
Does she watch podcasts?
No, she can't get out of bed.
Oh, it sounds like you come from like a trashy place.
Well, I'm from Louisiana. There's some trash. There's trash everywhere, I guess.
Sure.
There's some trash on the floor there from that envelope.
Yeah, I shred everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I didn't want to just throw it away, but I wanted it out of frame.
Is that a paranoia thing?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Also, let's be honest, it's fun to shred.
You know what? It's fun. It's fun to shred for the regular person the same way it's fun for someone who lives in LA to go see the snow. But when you have to do it 8 months a year,
Got it.
I don't want to have to fucking shred anymore.
Got it.
It's a compulsion.
Are you at least using the droppings from the shredder to like help a rabbit or something?
No,
like in a cage?
I recycle them though.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Wait. How do you recycle that? It's shredded.
The shredded paper.
Yeah, but what could you turn shredded paper into? More paper?
I don't know how the recycling process works. I figure if it's
know.
clean plastic or paper, they burn it and they glue it together. I don't fucking know.
Plastic I get, but paper, if you burn it, it's gone.
What do you mean? They could recycle. I don't really think they burn it, but they do something. What's the process?
Somebody call in if you know what happens with paper in the recycle plant.
Well, what is it? They can't just take paper and what do they just paint it? Paint it? They have
Yeah,
to-
that's what I'm
There's
saying.
a process to it.
I don't know. I don't know if paper's reusable.
I don't think they recycle anymore either. You hear about this?
No.
Me doing a bad Leno impression. They
I don't think they recycle anymore.
the process of recycling is it was
Using more
allocated-
energy.
It uses so much
Right.
that we don't even find it's worth it, and we ship it off to China and or other places.
Oh, good.
And they have so much stuff that they're like,
Right.
we're done.
Yeah.
So I don't think recycling is even happening right now.
Boy, China is a kooky place, isn't it? The porn is wacky. They got landfills. They kill each other. They got corona jizz. I mean, it's all over the road in China. I feel like everything good we have, they have better, and everything bad we have, they have worse.
Oh, higher highs, lower lows.
Yes.
Well, there's more people.
That's true. There's more people. I think they're a little smarter than us, so they got more shit. They're going to take us over eventually.
Yeah, I saw a video of where they think the coronavirus came from. It was either a bat or a snake, and they showed this bat soup.
Bad soup.
And it's not bat soup like, imagine chicken soup. I could eat that, right?
Sure.
But imagine a bowl of broth with a chicken, just a chicken.
Yeah.
Dead chicken, eyes, just in there.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Putting a spoon into the heart of the bat? I'll put up a video on the YouTube thing, but it's fucking.
Is that what it looks like?
It's a bat.
What?
I don't know where I would even find it. I saw it.
Holy hell. Bat soup. Worst Marx Brothers movie.
I haven't seen it.
That's a duck soup joke. 8 people got that in America. Sorry, I'm a Marx Brothers fan.
Yeah, I heard you talking about. No, it wasn't the Marx Brothers. Who did I hear you talking about?
Groucho?
No, I like him too. Who's the
Bill Murray.
No, he does the physical stuff. He's like does the I have a.
Oh, Buster Keaton.
Yeah, I was about to because I literally have someone just gave me a video of him.
Oh, I love
was
that
about to go
guy's
get it.
underrated.
Yeah.
Amazing guy.
I was introduced to him a few years ago from incidentally Instagram.
Oh,
and seeing some
really?
Buster Keaton clips, and I was just like, "What the fuck?"
I mean, not only is he hilarious and smart and creative, but so innovative. I mean, the guy invented all these camera tricks, and not to mention he broke his neck and broke his arm and shit. He would jump from train to
Yeah,
train.
I mean, an athlete.
Yeah, he was an athlete,
Uh-huh.
but he gets no love. It's all Charlie Chaplin. Fuck Chaplin.
No, you're
Chaplin-
overcompensating.
Chaplin's brilliant. I'm sorry, you're right. By the way, I read the book, The Comedians. I highly recommend it. Cliff Nestoroff. And it had all these stories about how the Marx Brothers... Are you Jewish?
Thank you, but yes,
Yes. They had all these stories about how they would go do like Nebraska and they'd do the road and all these guys, like good old boys, would chase them, like, get out of here, you Jew. And they said if they didn't make it to the train station in time to get back to New York, they would get beat up and their money would get taken by like the scary Gentiles. But
you could just say Gentiles.
yeah, but the interesting thing was one night they were at some show and they had a night off. They're like, let's go to some fucking vaudeville theater and see our competition. And they saw a 14-year-old boy juggling something, and Groucho was like, this is the most talented person I've ever seen in my life. Turned out to be Charlie Chaplin. How cool is that? Like in the 30s or 20s or whatever it was, just seeing some
you
random
love
kid.
The old
I
days.
love it. I love that there's so much mystique, and we have podcasts, we have books and shit. They were just trying to be funny. They didn't have any rules. There was no hack or we're gonna watch Monty Python. I was influenced by Bob Hope. They had none of that. They just had to be funny. And comics back then were like garbage men level on like the social scale.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
do you think you're romanticizing that a bit? Because
Probably.
also, they weren't funny. I
What?
mean, no. Listen,
Groucho?
there is some funny people.
Yes.
but there wasn't like if you look at the NBA in the 50s, there was some
Right.
talent.
It's Whitey McWhite.
Yeah, and Oscar
Right.
Robertson comes out and he's amazing, but like, look at everybody is that now.
Right.
So, like you said, yeah, they're not influenced by Mighty Python or Bob Hope or whoever you said. But at the same time, without that influence, there's nothing to grow from.
I hear you. I'm just saying it's notable
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
start from
Of course.
the dirt. You're just a seed trying to be funny. You have nothing to like compare yourself to
Right.
or draw from.
Pros and cons to that.
Here.
And the pros I hear you on of just like being original, but the truth is there's only, and I've said this on this podcast before, but there's maybe 8 jokes, I
I don't know if I follow that. I hear you, but I don't know. I think you can get outside the box a little.
Yeah, sure. But when you look at a joke, what stand-up comedy was when you were
Yes,
talking about,
yes.
going up there and each joke could be written down. They weren't stories; there was punchlines.
Right.
Where are you going to go from there?
Well, you got misdirect, you got pun,
Yep.
you got
Shock.
physical, shock, dirty. I guess that's
Shock.
shock. Shit. All right, you got nostalgia comedy, like reference, like, oh, I know what you're talking about. That's so true. I mean, that's the worst kind of comedy.
Yeah,
but it hits.
Okay, okay, sure. There's 5.
All right.
And by the way, misdirect is 80% of jokes.
Yes.
I mean,
just
and that was my grandma.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
It's just like, oh, we didn't know. And it's so well known, that formula now, that people are anticipating it.
That's true.
So now, and on top of that, I don't remember which one I said this on, and I always get insecure when I repeat something I said on a podcast.
Sure,
but
me too.
One of my you do get that way?
Oh, yeah. I get insecure about, walking.
Tell me more.
Well, I'm just an
Obviously,
insecure
that was
guy.
a simple thing. You get insecure a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that when I talk, it's easier for you to make eye contact than when you talk. Is that something you are aware
I
of?
can't do it.
What is that?
Well, when you talk, I want to hear. When I talk, I feel insecure, so I can't look you in the eye because I'm too freaked out.
You're so confident in your point of view, but you're insecure on how I receive it or the person receives it?
Probably, yeah. I got some parental issues, I guess.
Is that something that we could talk about?
Yeah, sure. I assume it's boring. I
Yeah.
assume everything's boring.
Same.
Yeah.
Except for my 45 minutes a day. And that's where that star that I'm talking about is,
Right.
that Mario star.
Yes.
And when I'm in that star, if everybody thinks I'm boring, they're all wrong. I mean,
Oh.
not. But me, my lack of being affected by it. And
This is not healthy.
you don't think?
Well, this 45 minute, this is some weird thing you've made up in your noggin. This is not real.
It's not. Yes, it's not really 45 minutes.
Right.
What I'm saying is, my whole life, I have gotten into these what we'll call pockets, these waves, right, where it's just like I'm fucking on.
Yes.
Like it or not, this is my best.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
I've been there, yeah.
And you're invincible in that moment.
Yes.
And then you're not in it anymore.
Yes.
I have a great analogy.
I can't wait.
When I was like 9 years old, I was masturbating before I knew it was sexual.
Okay.
I would put my penis under the faucet. I wouldn't have it coming on the top. It would be coming out of the bottom like you're filling up the tub.
Okay. Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. The
Where the
spigot.
Yes.
Not the shower head.
Correct. Where you get a concentrated amount of pressure, like a
Yes.
little waterfall for your action figures.
Yes.
I would put my cock up to it, and then it would just run on my wiener, and I would do it for 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden something would feel so good.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to do it again.
Ah, you jizzed.
This was pre-jizz.
I also pre-jizzed. It would just go,
Oh, yeah?
because there was nothing in there yet.
Sure.
Yeah,
Little
but-
dust.
Yeah,
the way you did
yeah,
it
a
sounded
little-
more like you're 90 instead of 9.
Your dick queefed.
Yeah, a DQ.
Yes.
Not the browser.
Or the fast food. Blizzard.
That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen, the hot eat section is called like a browser. Browser. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Brazier?
Blizzard.
There's the hot eats and there's the cool treats.
Oh, okay.
And the hot eat section, it was called like the browser or something like that.
Browser.
But
That's
everyone
a
knows what I'm
porn
talking.
site.
That's why I think
Browsers.
small world here with the DQ stuff. If anybody knows what I'm
Interesting.
talking about,
Call in.
call. Oh. So when I noticed this, I noticed that like, all right, I'm gonna go take a bath. I'm 9 years old.
Sure.
I'm gonna go do that thing with a faucet, and I know, Rick, you're gonna think you don't want to do it again, but I know yourself is lying to you.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah.
And sure enough, just like in sex, when you're done, it kind of goes away for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's how that 45, like I'm on, and then all of a sudden I lose it,
Ah.
and I never knew that I was going to. I never saw that pattern.
Yes.
And then I realized something that's maybe obvious to a lot of people: energy is finite. It goes away. It replenishes, but you
Sure.
have to find that equilibrium.
You got to charge the phone.
You got to charge the phone.
I hear you, but I think you can work on it. You can't. I wouldn't just give in to this weird little test you've set up. This is how it is. I'm out of my 45. I'm sorry. You have control. Don't let this little rule you've made up win.
I appreciate that perspective, but I don't look at this as a negative. I look at this as a matter of fact. I look at this as I need 8 hours of sleep.
What if you got 2 shows? You're doing a Saturday night, 2 shows.
That's what I have to. That's what I have to do now when I do multiple shows. Is I have to be aware, Rick, because what would happen is second show, I'm done.
Yeah.
So what I have to do now is first show, either accept the fact that second show is going to be I'm just going to talk to you, very low energy, not give the same thing, or what we do on podcasts is I space it out. I'm not as physical the entire time.
Right.
I'm not fucking burning from both ends.
You're crazy, man. This is all fabrique. I'm sorry. You're a hilarious guy. This is all this weird OCD or some bullshit you've made up, neurotic thing. I don't know. This is kooky. We all have our faults and our problems, but you gotta tweak them. You can't just live your life like this.
Okay.
I'm just all I'm saying.
I would love to.
All right.
I have the experience I have going on the road is very low.
Oh, really?
I've done, and by the way, when I say an hour, it's not an hour. It's 45 to 50 minutes.
Sure.
I've done that 20 times.
What?
Yeah, I don't do it much, and I'm about to start doing it again
Good.
now.
But then you'll grow. You're gonna watch. In 1 year, you'll be a completely different place than in the
Very
beginning of the
excited
year.
for that.
Good.
But I am where I am, and I
Yes.
is what I am.
Yes.
But I want to get into...
You're the goldfish that's not getting bigger because it's in a jar. You got to get into that pond, baby.
Yeah.
Then you'll grow.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm a goldfish.
Maybe you can grow to a bass or a catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a what do you call that one? A flounder.
You are, I mean, it seems patronizing because I'm saying this to an audience instead of to you, but you're hysterical.
Wow, come on. That's a big word there, Sloppy Joe.
Thank you. And your comedy is very aggressive. No,
think?
it's not. Yes, your point of view is aggressive.
You think?
Not in a bad way at all. You know that's aggressive.
I don't feel like I'm an aggressive guy.
I don't think you're an aggressive guy. That's
Interesting.
why I'm interested to see you looking away and to talk about your insecurities and to, not be sure. And to, I didn't know you were Jewish until
I'm not.
Oh, I still think you are.
I wish.
I don't believe that you're not.
Everybody tells all my heroes are Jews.
Same.
Larry David, the other guy. Yeah, Groucho.
Sure.
Yeah. I love a good Hebe, but I'm not. As a whitey, I grew up in a pretty rough black neighborhood, and I always wanted a thing. I'm just a white guy.
What do you mean a thing?
Like a hook, like a Jew, or I'm just a French and Italian.
Is a
dude.
Jew a hook?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
You're a minority. I mean, you get some priv, I guess, but Jews. I don't understand this about Jews. You're 6% of the country. You're kicking ass. Mm-hmm. People hate you. Mm-hmm. There's Nazis and KKK and alt-right or whatever the fuck it is. And you get no street cred for the oppression. You get made fun of. It's a knock. There's slurs on you that would sting. There's the big K, and you were restricted in the 40s and you couldn't go certain places. And we never had a Jewish president that we know of. Jews are held down in a lot of ways. A lot of people hate Jews. You control the weather. That's a problem. But
go on expand on the controlling the weather thing.
Well, I'm just saying, there's all these, you got horns, there's all these crazy, cheap, picking up a penny, all this shit. But you get no street cred for how much people hate you.
Does street cred come from
oppression,
or is it how you handle the oppression? Because we do get cred for the way we handle it, which is being funny. We get funny cred.
And just being successful. That's the ultimate shame. You kick ass. You go, hey, we'll outwork you. We'll outbusiness you, which is very impressive. Which I think is a big part of the hatred. People feel shitty.
I've never, it's an ignorant thing, and maybe I don't understand that ignorant side that well. But I've never been able to understand because all this racist stuff I hear about Jews.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a very diverse, very Jewish, very black area. A little bit of Asian.
Where's this?
Northeast Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Very close to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really experience prejudice until I went to college when I was 18, to where it wasn't ingrained in me. I wasn't fearful of it, relatively speaking, and it was just kind of like, all right, man, you know. And since then, I've seen Jesus, there's a lot of anti-Semitic.
Sure.
And the stuff that people hate about Jews is.
Silly.
The horns.
Yeah.
And the stuff, I don't... Listen, even if you obviously have your reasons, okay?
I guess.
I'm sure I would not agree with them, but I don't even understand what they... why... What do you hate?
I'm with you. Now...
even if you think I don't tip well,
right?
Why do you hate me for that?
I completely agree. Even I think about that with black people. In the 40s when they're chasing black people in a truck and some poor black guy's running out of a farm. I'm like, look... He's a minority. He's struggling. Why are you mad at him? I'd be like, oh shit, there's a black guy. Let's keep it moving. He's got a rough life. Why? I don't get why the hatred. Why you want to kill him?
He's got to be taught, right?
I guess you got to teach him a lesson.
No. I don't mean you got to teach them that they're bad.
I know, I'm joking. But it's weird. The anger is weird. It's one thing to go, oh, Jews are gross and scary, but I don't get why you want to shoot them and burn them and stuff. That's what bugs me. I'm
Fear?
like,
right?
I guess it's fear. It's all fear-based.
You know, it's
Who's scared of a Jew? You guys can't eat dairy.
Yes, we'll be right back with a word from our sponsors. So make the right choice and visit Marshall Carpet One and Rug Gallery. And we promise, with more than 50 years as a family-owned business, we've got you covered. And we're back.
All right.
That was our oat milk sponsor, Oatly.
Mazel.
This is making me think of, I saw you on Rogan talking about, not that you said, quoting you, you're not a rape comic. However,
Rape?
Yeah, like you don't talk about, like you're not needing to talk about rape, but an observation you made is a comedian can't talk about that. You said that you could watch movies with this stuff.
Right.
But once there's the Michael Jackson documentary, people need to see, which is, listen, people are interested in it because it's horrible. People want to be educated on perspective and things that they didn't know about someone that they may have looked up to. Sure. But at the end of the day, the reason that's making money is because it is entertainment.
It is.
And you guys didn't touch on that. And that's what I was like, yeah, it's.
Oh, we didn't?
I never thought.
I thought we did.
I mean,
Shit.
indirectly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't said entertainment.
You got it.
Because Rogan had some, and I agreed with all of his points, which is, yeah, but they're emulating this. They're showing you something. It's an art and it's like, yeah, sure.
But so am I.
But so's a joke. Because
Exactly.
it's entertainment.
A joke is less real. At least they're acting it out.
And that might be the issue.
Ah.
And that, because I was really into it, and I wanted more out of that conversation. But yeah, a joke is less real. And is it diminishing the fact that you're saying, like, this thing is real? There's pain behind it, and you're not showing any of the pain.
Ah, that's what it is. And
yeah.
there's a room of people laughing, which bothers people.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it.
And also, I would love to expand on that conversation, but maybe push it away from rape, because for whatever reason, I've never heard a rape joke that got me going. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's one out there.
Oh, yeah. There's some great rape jokes.
But there are racial jokes, and there are jokes that are anti-women or anti-men or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That it's just... I think it's interesting that comedy is the place where you get in trouble for expressing your point of view.
I agree. Well, they think it's you. You know, it's almost like, and this is a bit out of left field, but Kobe dies... Everybody's distraught, devastated. We're candlelight vigil or whatever the hell you call it. Everybody's in the streets crying. Coronavirus kills 100 people, and we go, that's a bummer. So why is the Kobe thing?
I have an
more
answer for
people
that.
died.
I have an answer for that.
And I think it's one. Well, one is one guy, and you know him, and you heard him, and you saw him, and this is 50 or 100
somebody just knock?
randos. Something knocked.
Hello? Did somebody knock? You heard a knock.
I did, but it was just a single knock.
Here's your last chance. Someone at the door. All right.
That was like a Edgar Allan Poe moment. But yeah, so Kobe is one guy who we know and love and all this, and this is a statistic,
right?
You know, versus one guy, and I think that's what it is with comedy. It's one guy up there that we all hate, and he made me feel a certain way, whereas Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is 18 different actors, a director, a writer, a lighting guy.
But that negates your point on the Michael Jackson documentary. That was Michael Jackson. Sure, there were editors, but it's about him.
But he's dead, and he's a bad guy. He's already the villain.
Right.
You know?
So the villain could do the art. So if you're doing it, you have to accept the role as the villain.
Exactly, which is why Jeselnik is so great, because he's like, I'll be that guy.
Right.
And then you know that he knows he's that guy, so you go,
give him some
this is all he's
trust.
aware. Yes, so you trust him. Whereas other comics, like myself, they're watching going, do I like him? Do I not like him? Is he actually racist, or is that a racist joke? And they're just sitting there, especially in these times when you have to like dissect every motherfucker and analyze. That's all we goddamn do. Just listen to the jokes, you whore. But so it's weird, but I think it gives people a personality, you know, to be upset, and they want to.
What do you mean it gives people a personality?
Like they go, that bothered me.
It gives the audience member.
Yeah, and then you go, oh, I know this kind of person now. Oh, you're morally superior. You're showing me who you are.
Do things bother you? Do you get offended?
Of course.
What's something that could offend you?
And
I'm being sincere. Like actually something that you hear and you're like
something. Another's coming to mind.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something.
I've been offended. But again, you get offended and you move on. You don't write a fucking letter or try to get somebody off of SNL or whatever. Like that, to me, that's like this Ari situation. I know you're getting a bunch of texts and It's anxiety inducing. I'm too scared to look at my phone too.
It's the I've been going back and forth with one of my agents about because I'm going to London in 2 days.
Oh.
And I'm going there for a month, and I'm going to be doing
Jesus.
like English comics, and I'm doing comedy out there.
Congrats.
Thank you. And he's helping me manage certain guests that I don't have a personal relationship with. And there's been a lot of back and forth, but at the same time,
That's important.
So we'll be fine.
All right.
But I was thinking it might be fun to like get a little behind the scenes of where it's coming from, but I'm not going to answer the phone.
Okay. Well, the Ari thing, you know about Ari and Kobe, the joke he made?
Yeah.
He's getting a whirlwind.
That's not a joke to me.
right.
That
Well,
wasn't a joke to me.
He's attempting humor. In his fucking weirdo warped mind, that's some kind of joke.
But here people say I'm joking.
Yeah.
As if like, oh, it's okay.
Right.
Now you don't have to, but I think it's best to try and understand the intention behind something at least.
Of course.
But if I were to punch you in the face right now,
Yes.
and then say, I'm joking, because it's funny. Because listen, we don't know each other. You came to my house,
Sure.
we're doing a podcast, and all of a sudden I punch you. I mean, that's kind of funny.
Right.
I'm joking.
Right.
But I still punched you.
Right.
It's not a joke.
Yeah.
The situation you may think is funny, but it's not a joke.
I agree.
So anyway, I'm sorry. Continue.
I can't remember. Oh, I got it. So somebody gave out his address, like, fucking go kill this guy.
Oh,
And I'm
Jesus.
like, okay, that is way worse than what he did. I'm not saying what he did was right, but you think you're some kind of hero and you're going off your gut instinct of anger.
Right.
But you're the same as him, you idiot. Like, you're just doing, what you're doing is you're inciting violence.
Right.
You're trying to have a guy be hurt when one thing was a bad joke, we all agree, was distaste, whatever. But this is way worse. And that's what the audience does. They go, we got to get you fired.
Yeah, it's like they're like vigilantes, and even Batman wasn't allowed to do. Like people were hating on Batman with some of the stuff. It's like, I got it.
Right.
Who he needs to be policed.
Right, that's
but then
a
there are
great
people
analogy.
that aren't Batman.
Right.
Trying to be Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're the bad guy. They don't realize, in their mind, we've made this weird culture where you're like, I'm going to save the day because I have nothing else going on in my life and I'm dead inside and
Yeah,
I stare at
it's
a screen
justice
all
warriors.
day.
Isn't that the term?
Yes. And look, I'm all about justice and social justice.
Love some social
I
justice.
love civil rights and diversity and equality. I'm all for it.
Come on.
But you came to a comedy club or you follow Ari or whatever it is, and he said something you didn't like, absorb it and go, I won't see that guy again. I'll unfollow that guy. But to go, I'm going to ruin this guy because it bothered me. It almost feels like we have so much comfort in our lives. Everything is about comfort. We got Uber Eats. We got a nice couch.
Well, humanity is about comfort.
Yeah, podcast, but it's gone so far. We've come so far comfort-wise. Like, people won't even leave the house now because they don't have to. We got Amazon.
You get everything brought to you.
So when you feel a little bit of discomfort now, it hurts. Yeah, it makes a dent. So people are going to act on it because they're like, whoa, I'm shutting this down.
You know, it's so complicated because there's also a culture behind being like knowing you're right when you're not.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about this tweet. I'm not talking about right and wrong. I'm talking about knowing you're right.
Yeah.
So many people know things.
Yes.
And it pisses me off because
know.
I don't know anything.
Same.
And I feel so smart because
At least you don't know.
right.
That's the key.
And when I hear people like I dated a girl, this was a few years ago, and there was some post, and I don't remember what it was, so I don't want to muddy the subtext to it, but it was something about what was going on in another country, right? And she took a pretty strong stance on it. And it was interesting. I had so many questions about it. And
Questions are good.
questions are great.
No one likes questions. They want to just go right for the feeling.
Here's something I've definitely said on the podcast before, and I'm happy repeating it every time. Answers are the easy part. Questions are hard.
Yeah.
And you don't have questions if you know things.
Right.
So I remember when she said that, and she wrote something on Facebook, and it was beautiful because it was pro kindness.
Okay, I
But
like kindness.
one of my best friends is an object.
Yes,
But
my wife.
it was still okay. it was, what are the facts? What are you saying here?
Uh-huh.
And I remember thinking that she's not wrong. She's not right. I just was curious. And I asked her a couple of questions, and she didn't know.
They don't like that.
But she knew what she was writing was right. And
Yes.
I don't know what it was, and it makes this point so ridiculous.
But I get it.
But it would basically be, you should, here's something arbitrary. You should always make your coffee at home, because if you spend $5 a cup 5 days a week, that's $100 a month you're spending on coffee. You could make that at home for $12. Going out to have coffee is wrong. And I'm thinking like, okay, I get it. You can definitely save money. That makes sense. But there are other variables.
Factors. Yeah, the key word is nuance. Everything's complex, but we just love to dice it all up and go, this is in this side, that's on that side, and that's it.
But people take their stance on going out to coffee is bad.
Yes.
If you do that, you don't like Jews. And
Right.
it's like, oh, hold on a second.
Right. And then they're stuck in there. They're cemented in that. And you go, well, what about this? They go, no. Hate
And that's what
Jews.
politics
That's it.
are now.
That's it. That's why I don't follow any of that shit.
I don't know. You know why I don't like Trump?
No.
Because he fucking seems like an idiot, and he does some racist shit with walls.
Same.
And also, that's not fair. He's a fucking... I know some things that are going on with him. And
Really? You got an inside scoop?
Nothing that other people don't know. I'm saying, like, I've heard the sound bites. But I'm
Yeah.
not going to pretend to know that Bernie Sanders... I don't know. Nobody knows.
Of course.
Nobody
of
knows.
course. But
I'm a Jewish Democrat because that's what my parents were.
Right.
Are.
He's in the right bin, though. He's on the right side. That's all people know. It's very primal. It's very vague, and it's
Yes.
very direct.
He might be the best thing in the world, but I
don't know
I
either.
don't know anything.
I'm with you. I'm going off of Trump's sound bites. I think he's an idiot. I think he's probably a bad guy. He's an egomaniac. It's so obvious that he's making all this up as he goes along. He's lying a ton. But I don't study him. And I have friends that just dig in on CNN and they Google and all this shit. It's like hours of the night, and they can't sleep, and they're depressed because of politics. I'm like, we're all going to die one day, you chooch. He's not going to be president forever. Let it go. Move on. I get it.
The biggest problem I have with that is not the people that are researching CNN and blah, blah, blah. It's the 95% of people that just, saw something on a meme.
Right.
And they're pretending that
right.
they're researching.
Yes,
And it's like,
yes.
and then they don't know that they don't know. And then when you ask them questions, and they're like, I don't know. And it's like, then what do you... Then let me go buy some fucking coffee.
Exactly. But coffee people hate Jews, and now we're back here. And nobody, even if you prove them wrong, no one ever goes, you got a good point. Good point. I take it back. I saw Seinfeld on Colbert, and they were talking about Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I love Cosby. I grew up watching Cosby. He's like, yeah, but what about the rapes? And Seinfeld's like, well, he's still a good comic. Like, you can't deny that. And Colbert goes, yeah, but knowing that he did all that while writing those jokes, isn't that weird? And Seinfeld's like, oh, yeah. I never thought of it like that. That's a good point. And then he took a second and went, you never see people do this. You never see people go on TV, especially go,
Oh,
good
yeah?
point. I was wrong. Touche. And I was like, that's a cool guy. That's a mature, secure guy to be able to just own it on television, mind you, on public, what do you call it?
Television.
Yeah, there you go.
Broadcast?
Yeah, there's a word. for
Network?
that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, just on, national television. That's what I'm looking for. National television. He just owned it, and I was like, that's cool. Nobody does that. I've seen people go, you're a racist. And the guy goes, my wife's black. And they go, Like, what do you mean, You got to apologize to that guy. You called him the worst thing ever in your eyes, and then you're just going to go, His wife's black, you cunt. How about you blow him? He deserves more than You were wrong. How about you own up to it? But nobody does that.
Bill Maher... I do watch the show.
I love Bill Maher.
I like the show.
I love the show.
Nobody's listening to anybody.
yes, that's so true.
Nobody's listening to anybody.
Especially not him. I mean, he's the most smug guy on the planet, and I like that he's just like, I'm unlikable, I'm weird looking, deal with it. I love that, because I don't have that in me. I'm like, oh, whatever you need, I'll do it.
Yeah.
He's just like, this is who I am, and blow me.
Tell me about the parental issues that you're having that make you feel that way.
Well, I just feel like my parents, they don't give you any reaction.
Your parents are together?
Yeah.
Siblings?
Still together, older brother. It was a cold household, not a lot of connecting, not like a lot of bottling. No one ever snapped on anybody and said, you know what, I hate this. And it was very rare. But either way, there wasn't a lot of, my parents ask a lot of questions and don't care about the answer.
Why do they ask the questions?
I think they ask it because they think this is what people do. We converse,
Oh, they're trying to connect.
They're trying to connect, but they've just seen it in movies or seen other people do it. It's not even like they don't care. Well, it doesn't feel like they do anyway. I hope they never hear this. But they don't seem to care, so they'll be like, "What'd you do today?" And you answer.
When
Where the hell's my comb? I want to comb my hair. What grade are you in? What the hell time is it? I gotta watch Matlock, And you're like, as a kid growing up like that, you're like, well, I'm the most boring,
right.
dumb, uninteresting person, dull person on the planet. And so I got to be funny just to get a reaction.
Yeah.
So that's where the comedy comes in.
Anybody funny in your family?
No. I mean, my dad is like funny on accident.
Right.
He'll be like, Moby Dick sounds like a personal problem. And you're like, that joke is so bad that it's hilarious. That's the funny part. But he thinks the joke is the funny part.
I want to get more coffee.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. I could use some water cooler if you don't mind.
Are you kidding me? We can talk about The Office over there.
I'll get it. It's like Bewitched. That's what they do on Bewitched.
Yes.
Remember that show? I used to watch a lot of Nick at Night.
Same.
Oh, nice.
Loved Lincoln. Bob Newhart, Bewitched. I Dream of Jeannie was like the B version of Bewitched to me.
Yes.
And Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah, which was groundbreaking at its time.
Blows my mind that Nick at Night is now Fresh Prince.
I know. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's
Saved
weird.
by the Bell is on there. I mean, it's kooky, man. But that's time. It just keeps shifting. That's how it works, and it's terrifying. At some point, you will be the old guy at the comedy club.
I feel that that'll never happen.
It's happening.
No, it already feels.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, Bill Burr will have a cane, and we'll go... We'll be at some award show and we'll play a video of him and be like, wow, look how vibrant he was. And he's going to be like, you fucking cunts,
Sure. He's that's him being with a cane still doing fucking cunts.
Yeah, he's got a walker going, these fucking bitches, they run you ragged. Or whatever the hell he says.
So
That's gonna happen.
You got funny because you needed to have a sense of you needed a way of getting attention.
Yeah, and what's cool is I'll introduce girlfriends to my parents and then we'll walk into the, what?
Bring this down a little to not cover your face.
We'll walk into the kitchen and they'll be like, oh, God, I'm bombing out there. I'm like, no, this is them.
Wait, who's bombing out there?
Girlfriends. They'll because my parents give so little.
And they use that term because...
Well, I'm making it my own, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
Like they'll be like, oh, I'm dying out there,
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, your parents hate me. I'm like, no, this is, that they're
Right.
giving, that's generous.
It's an industry crowd.
Yeah, exactly. They're
Sure.
blackberrying and booking a black guy. But they don't give. And I'm like, welcome to my fucking 18 years of living here.
Do they like your comedy?
Parents?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know.
They come out?
No.
Never come out?
They're hetero. But no, I don't know. They're,
They've never come to a show of yours?
I think I've maybe seen 2 shows, but I think they're more like, oh, we're proud of you for making money off of this. I don't know if they're actually digging the bits.
Do they like comedians? So do they have any... Do they like comedy? Do they watch comedies?
Yeah, they like Will and Grace or
Sure.
4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Those are the big 2.
But my mom does a thing that other people do that annoys me about comedy, where we'll be watching some brilliant comedy show or movie or whatever, and she'll laugh and she'll go, oh, so stupid. I'm like, stupid? Fuck you, lady. That was clever. And you laughed, and you're embarrassed about laughing, so you're calling them stupid. No, that's killer.
Oh, interesting. I take that as acknowledging the feeling she has from the joke. Not that the joke itself is stupid. Like if I'm watching Step Brothers, which is maybe the best comedy of all time.
Very funny.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid. And I watch it, I could see myself thinking like, it's brilliant. Brilliance and stupidity aren't mutually exclusive. It's kind of like what you said, your dad is funny, but not on purpose. So
Right.
then he's not funny.
Right.
But if you were doing that same delivery, that same thing, but he was aware of
Yes.
it, now it's funny.
Good point.
I feel that way when I watch, I'm a huge Sandler fan.
Oh, yeah.
And there's Sandler, 10 out of 10 Sandler, and then there's grown-up Sandler.
Right. Jack and Jill.
Yes. But let me tell you something. The 10 out of 10 Sandler obviously plays. Grown-ups, as whatever you want to say about it is, I'm laughing.
Right.
Now, why am I laughing? Is it because it's bad? Is it because it's ironic? Whatever. I'm
Doesn't
laughing.
matter. But that's the thing about that's why he's a household name. That's why he's as big as he is because of that right there.
But I'm saying being stupid, laughing at something that's stupid, I wonder if your mom likes stupid comedy and isn't judging it.
No, but I'm saying we'll watch something smart. Like this isn't like Jack and Jill. This is
Like Spy Kids.
yeah. This is like Eddie Izzard or some shit like that where you're like it's kind of intellectual.
And you think she's judging it.
A little bit. And I think she feels a little like gotten, and so she has to cover that up. which is a weird way to look at comedy. Most
Right.
people are like, oh, I'm laughing. This is great. I'm having a great time. Where she's like, oh, fuck you. You got me.
Almost like how when people start to tear up, they want to hide that emotion.
Yeah, and they go, oh,
the
shut
vulnerability.
up, you idiot. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, give me a hug. But fuck you, you fag. Like, no, hug me. Like, she can't handle the laugh. I think because it got her.
And so you're an adult now. I could imagine as a kid, if your mom's saying, "What'd you do today?" and she turns away, you're thinking you're boring. But now
Yes.
as an adult who's aware of this, is there something to when your mom turns away or says this is stupid, or you say, "Hey, Ma, what are you talking about?"
Nah,
Not
'cause
worth
we've
it to
got
you?
We've got a rhythm at the house, and I'm aware of it. Now I go, oh, she's doing the mom thing that hurts my feelings, but you roll with it, you know.
I don't.
I guess I shouldn't, but I you get through it, and you hang out with your parents for the weekend. You go back home.
Yeah, talking about how comfortable everybody seeks it and you want it. Getting through something isn't comfortable.
No, but that's life. And also, she would be shocked if I did that. She'd be like, "Wait, what?"
Great.
Like, oh, you're ignoring me, or it feels like you're ignoring me. And she'd be like, "What are you talking about? I'm listening." And I'd be like, I would just shut down and go, "Oh yeah, you're right." And I would feel bad for bringing it up. Then I would feel guilty. And
You
it's
can't handle
all
the
not worth it.
confrontation.
I hate confrontation.
Outside of family?
That's better. I don't mind yelling at some guy on the sidewalk, but
Why?
because there's nothing there. There's nothing behind it. This is 30 years of fucking bullshit.
Okay, check this out. Let's say that you don't hate Jews and you decide to go out and buy coffee.
Okay.
You come up to the coffee. I'm going to be the barista. You're going to order me a drink. I'm going to hand you the wrong drink.
Okay.
I want to see how you handle that.
Hey, you gave me the wrong drink there, Jew face.
Okay.
Oh wait, are we still doing the Jew thing? Sorry.
So, but you'd be able to speak up for yourself
Yeah,
there?
yeah. That's. I mean, I'm not that bad. It's just with them. I don't know. It's built in. You know, it's deep
course.
in. It's ingrained. It's too late. It's too late to flip it. I mean, it probably isn't, but I don't feel like doing it.
Okay.
I guess that is unhealthy, but
Do you bring any of this insecurity onto stage?
sure.
With your act, not with your performance.
Sure, yeah. People always say you got to be bigger, you got to be more confident. I'm like, but I'm not, and I don't want to be the fake
Interesting.
guy.
People, what does bigger mean?
You know, be out there, own it. You know, show them what you got. Because people are like, you got good jokes, but sometimes your demeanor seems kind of meek sometimes. And
Do you think that's part of what makes you get away with stuff? Is the fact
Maybe,
that
maybe.
you symbolize an underdog, so you're allowed
yes.
to punch up?
Yes, a little bit, yeah.
I've never seen you live. I have seen multiple videos, and that's like I see what you're saying, but I don't think it doesn't seem like an insecurity to me at all. It just seems like you are this person who is this build, and this is how you think, and this is how
Right.
you talk. Like the way you're talking to me now is very similar to how you speak on stage.
Yes.
Which makes me think that that's really who you are.
I think that's the key. I think audiences can see it. Michael Che once told me, and it stuck with me. This is years ago, like 8 years ago. He goes, I can tell on stage you're saying some offensive shit, but I can tell you're just trying to figure it out, like figure out the world, and that makes you get away with it.
Have you gotten in trouble?
I'm not famous, so I haven't gotten anything crazy yet, but I've gotten, people like, that was homophobic, or a message like, when you said this about women, that really bothered me, and I kind of chalk that up to, fuck you, blow me, get over it a little bit. But sometimes I'll go, I thought that might have been a little too much, and I'll say, what can I do to change it? I always ask women, like, does that bother you? Is that weird? Because I don't want to offend. I don't like these comics who are out there going, let me say this, that'll shock. I don't want to do that. I want to have an interesting angle.
Right.
So I always try to see it from other people's side, but sometimes you talk to people and you're like, oh, you're crazy, or you were molested, you got your own thing. Like if some lady's like, hey, I was molested, so drop that joke. I'm like, I can't just cater to your bullshit.
Okay, I have a question for you. And we both, I mean, this is a language, and we do jokes, and when you see something, you take it. So do what you want. But for this next minute, I would love if able to have the most sincere conversation that we're ever going to have, at
I think
least
it's been
today.
pretty sincere.
But I'm saying no jokes to this, because
okay.
I'll get confused
Okay.
with this question.
Got it.
Because you put out there, it seems like you're putting out there whatever you want to put out there.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Thanks.
You do not strike me as somebody who has hatred toward race, gender.
No.
And what feels like it's just jokes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a comedian.
So my question for you is, when you're telling a joke that is anti-woman, anti-gay,
Yeah.
anti-whatever it might be, is it the math that's funny to you?
Yes.
That's
It's
it.
all structure. The jokes have no emotion in my eyes.
Right.
It's going, If I make a school shooting joke and you go, when I was a kid, we used to run to the car and say shotgun. Now kids say that in the classroom. And people go, oh my God, you're talking about school shootings. And I'm going, hey, shotgun here, shotgun there. That's it.
You would not be talking about this if the saying for riding in the front seat wasn't called shotgun.
Exactly. It's all the bones.
And that's what I was talking about, there being 8 jokes. That joke is a play on word joke.
Yes.
That's not a school shooting joke.
Yes.
That's a math joke.
But in everybody else's mind, and every audience member, that's a school shooting joke.
Right. So here's where I connect with that strongly, not so much on the shock side, but more on the what the fuck is Rick talking? People think I'm weird. I'm like anti-joke, making fun of comedy, or not having jokes. Whatever the negative thing is, it's coming from the same place of no. The math is here.
Right.
Presentation-wise, I'm not talking about. I'm saying that I could do a joke talking about pooping that to me is the same exact joke as your shotgun school shooting joke.
Yes.
But people don't look under the hood. It's not their job to look under the hood.
No.
So I guess my question for you, and also like me going through this stuff now, because I want to show people what's under the hood without having them come and look.
Yeah.
I want you to know how a car works. I don't want to have to teach you how to be a mechanic, basically.
You gotta compromise a little.
So the cost for me a lot of the time is if I do something and they don't know what's under the hood, they don't trust me anymore. I'm just some fucking idiot. I'm a weirdo.
You're a weirdo.
I do have some jokes that I know the risk is different. Worst case scenario for a lot of comedians, they're not funny. Worst case scenario with a disconnect on something that's anti-abortion or whatever it might be is not only is he not funny, now I don't like him.
Yes, I get a lot of that.
So what do you do? I guess why is it worth it?
Well, that's a good question there, Ricky. It's because if you find the right group who gets it, I think you've hit gold. That's
Right.
pay dirt, baby.
That's what?
Pay dirt.
Pay dirt. I don't know what that's
That's an old term. Like, we hit the jackpot. Okay. Like, Quentin Tarantino's a guy I use a lot because I'm a fan.
Sure.
And he does his own thing. He does what he wants. He doesn't have any other guy tell him what to do. It's all him.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. Larry David, very similar. Love these guys. Pulp Fiction is fucking heavy. There's a, gang rape or whatever. There's guys getting their head cuts off with swords. There's heroin, overdose, bloody needle, bloody nose, stabbed through the heart. It's crazy shit. Right. If you brought that to a focus group, I feel like a lot of people would go, like soccer moms would be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I don't want this on my screen. This is crazy. But it's brilliant, and it's a beautiful film, and it's great art. And the right people find it. I'm sure there's a lot of, softer people who are like, this is horrible. This should never be shown in the light of day or whatever the hell. And I feel like my act is a lot like that. But I don't do it for them. And you're not going to please everybody. And you got to do your thing. And when it works, it's beautiful.
Yeah. When it works.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't, it's tough.
But in the beginning, like you say, you're about to go do the road and everything. You've got to compromise more. Right now, I'm finally getting my own people who, like, I mentioned Jeselnik again. You know how much he bombed with that shit in the beginning? Like Dead Baby this and Burn Unit that and
There's
all
a
this
difference
shit.
when people come to see comedy versus people come to see you.
Yes, and I'm finally getting there, and I'm
great.
Grateful because I feel like I earned it. I went through years of people going, why is this guy talking about fucking black people so much? What's going on with this guy? Why is he talking about gays? What's up with this shit with the midget joke? Like, what's this guy, crazy? I went through years of being misunderstood, and that taps into like the mom shit again. Like, you don't care, you don't get me, no, So if it's in you hard enough, you'll press on and you'll make it work. So I bullshit my whole way. Conan this, Tonight Show that. Here's some yuck-em-ups that we can all get behind. Only secretly to do my own shit later. But I knew I had to play the game to get to there.
What was the game for you? Doing more palatable comedy?
Yes.
So
completely.
you've gotten darker or whatever the word might be.
I've got more myself, more genuine, more me. I'm tapping in. And the fucked up thing is, these idiots who get in the way and go, whoa, what are you doing? This is too much. You're hurting good art because the more deeper you get into your brain, the better the show will be and the better the act or the comedy will be, the act. And you're ruining it because of your dumb feelings. But look, it's not their fault. But like when the Louis C.K. thing got leaked, everybody's like, how could he say these things? It's not funny at all. It's like, he's working it out. Let him work on it. You can't chop
You're saying
a guy's
after
act.
the stuff happened is the past year footage that comes out.
Yeah, and everybody hated him. They're like, he's saying these horrible things. He's gone all right. He's crazy. I'm like, you're either dumb or you're lying. Either you don't know what he's doing, and that's okay, or you're pretending to be upset because he's been doing this shit the whole time. He's got 9/11 this and all that shit. Like, that's his bit, So you got to let the art happen. And that's the hard thing about comedy is we need them and we test it on them. So it's not their fault, but it's fucking frustrating. And also why it's great. Comedy is great because of that, because not everybody can get through that wall.
Since so many of your jokes are math jokes that happen to be this, at a certain point, you've gravitated towards a certain type of math, right?
Yeah.
Like algebra is algebra, and all comedians speak algebra.
Yeah.
But what variables do they choose to plug into these formulas?
Right.
And you're attracted to, I guess, a certain type of variable, a certain font. And my question is there something to that being a way for you to take charge? Like, you're not going to... My mom didn't listen to my numbers when I talked about what grade I'm in and what I did today.
Yeah.
So she's going to listen to this.
No, it's more, I feel like I don't understand a lot of things. And... the things we lie about the most and bullshit about the most are these kind of taboo-y things.
I agree.
I don't care about these things, really. I just go, I don't think you tell me the truth there. Like when people go, big is beautiful. And you go, but you're going to the gym. If you really think big is beautiful, wouldn't you just eat all day?
Well, like you said, the key word is nuance.
Yeah.
And big doesn't, you could be fat and still want to get into better shape. But also big could be you exercise, you dance, you do your thing, but you're just naturally a bigger, curvier person.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but there's people who are morbidly obese who
that's
look
not
horrible.
Beautiful. Nobody says that's
but
beautiful.
People say they go, yeah, but they're being nice.
Right.
But I'm so
I understand what you're saying.
autistic-y weirdo that I'm like, no, you're lying to me now.
Dude.
So that's why I want to joke about fat people. It's not because I hate them or want ill will. It's because you're lying to me and I want to get the truth out.
I love this. So what I'm seeing is now it's your variable is what is highlight what when you're looking at the world.
Yes.
What is highlighted to you.
Yes.
And I connect very strongly to this. It's disingenuousness and lies.
Yes.
And it's like, no.
Thank you.
So because people are lying most about this taboo stuff, by design, the stuff that's highlighted is the taboo stuff.
Right.
So if people were lying about, I don't know, I like wearing shorts, not pants, you'd be like, yeah, well, pants hate black people. Or whatever the thing might be.
My my big turning point in my joke writing was that joke about, I did it on Conan. In my first set, it was, I don't see color. And I go, well, I'm black. And he goes, no, you're not. And I go, aha. The whole, that describes my whole shtick. Right there. You're full of shit, and you're trying to use this guise of you being like morally superior to me, even though you're just lying to my face. And I know it's a figure of speech and a metaphor or whatever the fuck it is, but I don't like it.
I don't like it.
And I'm so glad. I've never felt so understood in my life. Give me a foot high five there. Thank you. That's a big foot, by the way.
Thank you. You should see the other guy. Or my dad, I mean. We have the same size feet.
But yeah, so that's it. It's not, why is this guy talking about trans? Because you're lying to me.
Right. So it's having a strong point of view against their fake strong point of view.
Yes.
Or their what I was talking about earlier when a girlfriend I was dating, what she would listen, making your own coffee makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're only saying that because you read it somewhere.
Right.
You didn't ask any questions. You're sharing it. Somebody else is doing it. And it's telephone.
Totally telephone.
Yeah.
But telephone with passion for some reason.
Yeah.
It's one thing to hear a bunch of shit
Yeah,
and repeat it.
it's if telephone were an Olympic sport.
Right.
Instead of just something you do in the classroom.
Right. My friend Joe List has the best line of all time. And it's all about the times we're living in. Reason is now edgy.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, well, we've gotten so into emotion, and I feel this, and I'm telling you my truth or power, truth to power, whatever the fuck that means. It's all just kind of bullshit. Like, the big is beautiful. It's like when Matt Damon, after the Harvey Weinstein thing came out, he goes, we got to have, what do you call it, degrees, like... Not everything is rape.
Right.
There's rape. There's a grope on the subway. There's a finger. There's a pinning you down. There's anal rape.
There's two fingers.
Yeah, exactly. There's bases. First base, second base. So and every woman jumped on like, shut up. What do you know? Easy, you white man, blow me, kill yourself. And you're like, well, he's not wrong.
Right.
I mean, we have it with murder. You got murder 1. You got manslaughter. You got attempted murder. Like, if I kick you in the balls, that's not murder. But like with Louis C.K., he jerked off on whatever on himself, and we just call him a rapist. And you're like, yeah, but now you're
see that's a tough one because it seems to me it's less about categorizing that this is rape or molestation. It's less about where people are putting it in the category. And what it seems to me is people are redefining what the word is so it fits the category.
Yes.
And listen, I understand somebody's point of view who says, Rick, that's not for you to decide. You can't empathize with that. And the truth is, I probably can't. I don't get into an elevator too often, worry that someone's going to fuck me in the ass.
Totally.
I feel like I got 45 minutes in me. I got a star. I could be strong, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not rape.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not
by definition, it's not.
It's not rape. And yes, abuse of power when there's if somebody, and I get that, and I didn't get that before.
Right.
Like I didn't realize before, like, listen, you're on a television show, this person is working as an extra, or they want to. It's horrible, and I get that. But it does feel like you either have to be this guy's a rapist, or you're a rapist.
Exactly.
And it's like, no,
that's the problem.
I don't condone this.
There's people hearing this right now going, oh, Mark hates women, or Mark doesn't care. I'm like, no, I love women. And I'm not even saying what Louis C.K. did was right. I'm just saying it's not rape by definition.
It's tough, man.
It's not, but we only do it with sex, which is strange. Chris Brown punches Rihanna in the face, which is bad, but you wouldn't go, he murdered her.
Right.
You're jumping from a jerk off to a rape, which is like jumping from a punch to a death.
Right.
What's the difference?
It almost is like rape has been redefined as taking advantage of.
Ah, yes.
And that's what I meant by like changing the definition.
Right.
Taking advantage of is if I punched you in the face, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't rape you.
Right.
And of course, rape would be worse, but I'm not even arguing one's better than the other.
And this is so obvious. Like, we're just saying what the words mean, and this is like controversial, which is reason is edgy. That's what I was trying to get to.
So when you see somebody say, he grabbed my ass, I was raped, you're not doing a joke on rape. You're doing a joke on this person's
misusing the word.
Yes.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't hear, and that's what bums me out, and it drives me
but they
fucking
will
crazy.
never hear it.
And they will never hear it. And that's fuck them. That's their loss.
I think here's where I am with comedy.
Yeah.
With being received. Bigger than comedy, being received. But I feel like on stage and off stage, my main language is comedy.
Yeah.
It is, you don't know what I know. Not that I'm smarter than you. You just don't know my intention. Of
course.
You don't know the subtext.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's literally a sentence of saying something that then bridges. It doesn't give them the option to fill in the blank.
Right.
Because what I've noticed, and this is really tough in my intimate personal relationship and relationships I've had with girlfriends in the past, I don't know, so I don't know. I didn't realize is the majority of people, when they don't know that, and they fill in the blank to make it make sense.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
they fill it in with their own bullshit.
Whether it's traumas, whether it's patterns of experience, whether it's fair deduction that might be right, they're filling something in, and I don't know they're filling it in.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get better instincts at in my writing is, even if I'm not writing it, if I'm doing a bit that is, extemporaneous at least, I still have to have something where I have to make this airtight. So you might not like me, but you might have questions, but then you don't have the answer. You have to ask me. And people put in this thing. So bad version. If you say, I think this is when people validate. I'm not racist, but the real version of that is what Michael Jackson did is disgusting and wrong. Those kids did get to, whatever your joke may be, that's a joke and a math joke, you're at least not letting them fill in the blank that he doesn't think it's wrong. So now it's like, I don't think that's funny, but he's obviously trying to make a joke.
I totally get that. I just don't have the fucking time to placate and go, just saying, like Pete Holmes had a joke once on Conan, goes, I'm not racist. But isn't this weird? And I remember thinking, like, why do you have to say we're not racist? That's so weird. I get why he did it. He's on TV.
Right.
But it calms the audience down. But I'm like, why is racist now the default?
What do you mean?
Well, people just go, you tell a black joke.
Because people fill in
That's
the
what
blank.
I'm saying. They fill it in, and I hate that, and I'm sick of doing that, and that's what having your own people is nice. Because you're just like, you know me now. Like, and that's new. I've been doing comedy 13, 14 years, and when I started, there wasn't this filling in. The filling in is new. This is like, there's a lot of, especially at alt rooms, which I still do, did one on Monday. A lot of people won't do them anymore. But
why don't people do alt rooms anymore?
Because they're so fucking sensitive and looking for it. It's not even about sensitive. It's about looking for it. And that's what bugs me, where they're analyzing, going, can I? Is he? What's that? What's his intent?
Why do you think that is? Being that social justice warrior in a comedy scene, is it finding relevance, finding importance?
I think it's fear. I think they're like, I don't want to be laughing at this because then I'm in that bin.
Right. I need to speak up for people so people know that I spoke up for them.
Exactly.
Watch me put the dollar in the tip jar.
Exactly. Have some balls. And somebody had a great point about these alt rooms. They're not very diverse. The lineups are, but the audiences isn't. And then you got some guy at the Comedy Store talking about blacks and Asians and gays, and there's a lot more diversity in the crowd, which is interesting. It's very pretentious-y, kind of. It's very precious. This like we're on top of everything and we're morally superior, but there's no fucking black people here, But then you go to the store and it's mixed. That's it. There's something to that.
All these things that we're talking about, and the nuance and the validation and it being okay to do this because that's disingenuous.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm aware of these things and I look at them, but I do that because you have to consider other people's feelings.
Sure.
But the truth is, and this is where I feel very connected with you during this conversation, is it's just math, man.
That's how I feel. That's where I've never felt more understood. Nobody gets that. People will argue with me all day about this.
You could do a joke. I said it before, it's like, and that's my grandma.
Right.
That's an incest joke. If
Yeah.
you do, and she was 17.
Yeah.
That's or 15. That's a pedophilia joke.
Yeah.
And that was a guy.
Yeah.
That's a gay joke. But no, man, it's
never
just
happened.
math.
Yeah, exactly.
And at what point do we find the variables that you could receive versus trusting the instincts of what comes easiest? And I don't think it is just, I'm going to do what I want.
Right.
I think that I'm going to do what I want is I know instead of I don't know. And you, at the end of the day, if you decide to do what you want and it's based on, this is me regurgitating what I've said in other podcasts before, but a few years ago I came into some self-awareness. I didn't know when I was crossing a line.
Okay.
I
have that problem as well.
You don't know when you crossed it? Do you know once you crossed it?
Well, I get the reaction.
Right. I didn't even know after I crossed it. I'm just like, that was hilarious. People are annoyed by me, and I don't know. I think everyone loves me.
Right.
I've gotten to the point where I either now know where that line is based on pattern recognition, or after I crossed it, I know that I could see that it's happened.
You feel it now.
Yes. But just because there's a line there, rules are meant to be broken sometimes. You could cross the line if it's your decision, but make sure you know when you're doing it.
Sure.
And I think it's important to still ask, am I doing this because my mom didn't, this,
Right.
Just,
I agree.
Am I doing this because fuck them? Or am
Yeah.
I doing this because that's the best variable for the formula?
That's a great point. That's a great comedy point.
And that is bigger than joke writing. That is self-awareness and awareness of culture.
Right. And the audience appreciates, even if you go across that line and they know you're aware of it, they appreciate it and they're more comfortable and they're more relaxed and willing to laugh.
They have to trust you.
They have to trust you.
And one of and interest in a comparison and in a rough comparison to the Michael Jackson thing, what he did was horrible. Some people will never listen to his music again. There's a lot of people that think what he did was fucking disgusting, but will listen to the music.
That's me.
And the reason is they could separate art from artists.
Yes.
It's not. There's no right or wrong. I understand if you can't. My mom doesn't watch Mel Gibson movies.
Is that
I
right?
do. Yes.
Because of the anti-Sem?
No, she just doesn't like Lethal Weapon 3. No, yes. But
Nobody did.
But you could trust people for the weirdest reasons, and one of which is talent. And when somebody who's so funny, you let them get away with it. When somebody could sing and dance like that, in a way, you let them get away with it.
Yes.
So this idea people say, if it's funny, it's okay. I mean, that is kind of an accepted truth.
I agree, because funny is still hard. It's hard to be funny, which is, I think, big reason why a lot of people go to like activism and whatnot, because it gets a reaction, and they're not getting a reaction from their act. They're getting it from saying Trump's a racist or whatever, which is so easy, and it's more agreeance. It's not really comedy anymore.
Right. That's something that doesn't work anywhere in the country.
No, it works.
What I'm saying is being anti-Trump in Los Angeles is going to be different than anti-Trump in Alabama.
Sure.
But if the joke isn't anti-Trump, if the joke is a formula that works and the variables you're choosing are politics, then it works.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. I just don't want to go down that road. I'm not a Trump fan, but I don't want to touch on it because it just.
But you're not a political comedian then.
That's true. But if I think of a joke that surrounds politics, I'll do it.
Right.
But I just don't want to get. First of all, I don't care, so I only write jokes I care about.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I made jokes with you, and you did too, about I don't know anything in Trump. I am more educated in Trump than I have probably in any other presidency ever because I do have questions and I am,
Yeah.
but still I don't know much.
No.
And
you'll never know.
And the I don't even remember what I was saying there. What was I getting at?
It's an act. That's what, like,
Yes.
Cosby raped people. If you go by his act, he's a fucking saint. If you go by my act,
The
I'm
opposite.
a rapist or whatever. But if you go by my real life, I'm a nice guy. So go by the real life, you idiots.
Do you think that how long has your podcast been out?
5-6 years?
Oh, you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, it's finally going somewhere.
You said that you've been doing stand-up for 13 or so years now, and you're finally getting to a point where you have an audience, and they understand you, which
Yes.
seems to be, as everybody, but you've really connected how feeling understood is very, very important to you.
Yes, very.
Is there something to the fact that you're on, the people that are coming to see you also listen to your podcast, and they do see behind the act a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so. But that's the beauty of podcasts. You actually get to know the person a little bit beyond the act. I think that's we're kind of going that way. I think the act is almost
We, meaning podcasters or culture?
culture, the society we're living in. I think they're like, so, I know some comics, I'm not going to say any names, wildly popular. They just go on stage and go, man, my day today was weird, and how you doing? And the audience loves it
Because they're already fans of them, though.
they're a fan, and they just want to talk to them and get to know them and hear about their
Yeah.
day, and they love the person so much. But I'm such an insecure nut that I'm like, I got to go up there with a fucking killer hour.
Yeah.
But I also like the art of stand-up, and I want to show them that I've been working hard at this, and I think it's pretty good, what I got cooking here, or maybe we'll come up with some new shit together. But I could never sit up there and just fucking banter with a crowd. I don't have the confidence for that.
When an audience likes the comedian, not just, oh, he's being funny, I like this guy, but came to see them, knows them, trusts them already.
Yeah.
You get away with more stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that the podcast culture is similar to the social media culture, which is basically behind the scenes.
Yes.
And the soap opera of like the NBA, you follow these guys. I mean, I love watching NBA players' Instagrams and seeing them hanging out with other players or the behind the scenes shit. And it's like you feel like you're friends with them.
There you go.
And once you do that, then watching it is like, I talked about this on
Is it better or worse?
Better.
Okay, that's good. That makes you feel better.
I've been listening to more Mark Maron, and his intros I love so much.
Really? Oh, I'm a fast forwarder.
Do you listen to them?
No, I fast forward.
I'm saying, do you fast forward because you didn't give him a chance, or you listened and you didn't like him?
I have given it. It's a lot of cats, and I feel like it's very whiny.
Yeah, so's the interview, but I hear you.
Well,
It's more about whiny about the other person.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
not about
yeah.
right. Well, what I like so much about what I connect with is especially when he talks about the interview, not about just what he did that day, but when he talks about the interview, then when I'm listening to the next interview, I get to hear. He did the Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio one. Did you listen to that?
a little bit. Yeah, half of it.
The intro is him talking about Brad and Leo and how he felt going into this interview and how
Yes.
nerve-wracking. You did Obama. You're still going to be nervous with Brad and Leo,
that
right?
I like.
So now when I'm listening to the interview, I'm hearing not Leo and Brad talk to Mark. I'm like seeing through Mark's eyes.
Right.
I'm there.
Yeah.
So that behind the scenes shit really makes you connect with people. And I
Right.
think that's why there are so many comedians, but like people that do stand up that aren't really comedians that have a fan base that are successful because, hey, they have an audience, people like them, so they come.
Yeah.
And I have mixed feelings about that.
Sure. But I mean, it's not our problem. They have their fans. The fans want to see them. They come out. That guy makes money or that gal makes money, and that doesn't affect us.
Ultimately, that's where I decide. I'm the same, yes. But there is something, too, when my girlfriend tells me how funny somebody is.
Well, that's different. That's different because you go, he's not. It's tricks. It's hack. It's been done.
Do you feel that way?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like protective over comedy when your wife says stuff?
Totally. I'm not married. I just made up a wife.
Oh, yeah. I got confused because I don't see a ring, and then you talked about or girls.
Uh-huh.
So then part of me felt like, because some people don't talk about their relationships on here, and part of me felt like I didn't want to. It seemed like you didn't want to talk about it, so I was navigating around.
Oh, wow. I didn't mean to give that off.
That was me filling in blanks and not knowing I was doing it.
There you go. You see?
Yeah.
But no, I just made up having a wife for the joke.
Yeah, sometimes you
Again,
gotta.
a joke.
Yeah, you got to have a wife or in-laws sometimes.
There you go. In-laws. That's an old adage.
How long are you here for?
I leave tomorrow.
Yeah?
Yeah, so that's it for me. I want to get a little post-it on my shirt when I come to LA and just say leaving Thursday? Because that's the first question. You actually made it 2 hours.
Sure.
But that's the first question everybody asks. How long are you here till? How long are you here till? Which I don't know why they're asking.
I had shirts that I sold for a little bit. I sold probably 2 of them that said, fine, thanks. How are you?
Oh, that's good.
Because,
that's good.
Come on, man.
I know. I'm with you. I hate how are you? I hate that question. I know they're being nice, and if they didn't do it, I'd probably
don't
be
know
weird.
they're being nice.
Well, it's a go-to.
I find it most of the time to be manipulative and them not even realizing it because it's just part of their communication.
How do you feel? How do you mean manipulative?
The same way, and I talk about this on stage, but when I go on a date, let's say we go on a date, okay, it's our first date, and I want you to think I'm a good guy.
Okay.
I'm going to go around and I'm going to get the car door for you.
Sure.
I'm not getting the car door for you because I think that's something I'm supposed to do.
Right.
I'm getting it for you so you know I'm a good guy.
Sure.
I'm a good guy. But now I'm manipulating you, and it's kind of counterintuitive. When I say, hey, man, how you been? I'm not saying I don't care about you, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
Get to it.
Yes.
So when people do that, I think to myself, I know what you're doing. You might not.
Right.
But I know. You also are obligating me to then go, fine, now I have to be disingenuous.
Right.
How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And it puts all the pressure on you, like, because I go back to the boring thing. I go, well, I got no good answer.
Yeah.
But should I lie or should I tap dance here? What do I do? It's a lot of pressure. And that's why people go, how are you? How are you?
Yeah.
We don't even answer it.
Yeah,
We
it's
just
not good.
try
How
to
you
turn
doing?
it on
How
you
you
again.
doing?
Yeah, we just turn it back. I don't want it. You take the ball. I don't want the ball.
I've recently started talking about that on stage where I talk about how you doing is tough, but the how is your weekend makes me like, what could I do to tell him? So now I don't. I do this also when someone says, hey, tell so-and-so I say hello. I go, maybe.
Oh,
I go, maybe, because I
that's
might.
good. Yeah.
I probably won't.
But here's the fucked up part is everybody walks away and goes, Glassman's a kook.
Not if you make it part of your shtick. And that's where I learned where yours is needing to find the intention, which I connect to some. The biggest thing that I came into recently of the way I do comedy is I need to find a way of making my honest feelings palatable for other people.
Yes.
Take your shoes off. Don't touch that. May I have no butter on the bun. I can't just... I'm just this asshole, aggressive, direct, difficult person unless I could go, maybe.
You're right.
Finding a shtick, a way, which is exhausting for all parties.
I completely agree.
But it's survival.
But that's comedy. That's all comedy is, you know? Like, I do this thing on email because I feel guilty, like, asking for stuff. So I just write, like, what time's the show again? I'm gay. Because it kind of diffuses it, you know?
Yes.
And people are like, why do you keep saying you're gay? I'm like, because I feel guilty just being like, give me answers. Come on. So I have to throw in some dumb, weird little, I don't know, thing at the end or queef or praise Allah.
Yeah.
They're like, why do you write that? I'm like, I don't know what else to do. So that was my version of just,
Do you
finding
still
a
do
shtick.
that?
I do it every time.
So here's a little of unsolicited tools that I have been developing that I'm going to offer to you. Throw it away.
Please, I'll take anything.
There is a great amount of power in realizing that you cannot, not that you shouldn't, but you cannot control the way people see or feel about you.
Good point.
Okay?
So don't worry about it.
It's not about don't worry about it because you're going to.
Yeah,
It's about how much. It's like sometimes I get very scared to go on stage still. I can't say, Rick, don't be scared.
Right,
No, I'm going to be scared.
right.
But don't let that fear influence something that is made up.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
So I've been practicing it, and it really does make things easier, which is, listen, me saying the I'm gay thing, I literally have done and do the I'm gay thing too. Hey, man, do you mind not putting your shoes on the carpet? I'm so gay.
Yeah.
As if even now I'm having an instinct of saying, not that gay is wrong. Of course not. It's math.
Of course. It's math.
But not everybody speaks math.
Of course.
So you have to find that sentence.
But that's why it's so pleasurable and relieving to hang out with comedians.
But what I want to say is, if I say this, it's all about boundaries, right?
Right.
And
right.
Once you recognize the power of them and how efficient they are. Hey, what time does the show start? If for whatever reason he thinks you're an asshole, by you saying I'm gay, maybe that time he doesn't think you're an asshole, but you're going to forget to say I'm gay. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not sustainable. Let them know now. For the same reason you're saying you could go on stage and get away with stuff because people now start to get to know you. You're cheating yourself by hiding who you are, by adding I'm gay or whatever the thing is.
Oh, interesting.
If somebody doesn't like me, like I said, I didn't know until I was 30-some years old, 32, that I thought everybody thought I was this charming, hilarious, funny person.
Interesting.
Then I found out I'm annoying. And I am,
I don't
But
think you're annoying, but
I've gotten better.
I don't know you that well.
I know where the line is now.
Ah.
So I'll cross it sometimes.
But that's normal. Everybody found a line at some point.
So now that I know where the line is, people still think whatever they.
Right.
And I got lucky that I grew up being unaffected by how people receive me because
Right.
I didn't know how they did. And now I'm 35 years old and it's like it's fine. Hey, what
Right.
time's the show? What the fuck, man? What time's the show?
Yeah. But that's good that you've grown, and B, accepting. Accepting is the hardest thing, I feel like, in psychology. Self-acceptance, yeah. Just going, I'm nervous. Yeah, deal with it. You're nervous.
Changed my life.
It's
being
a
able
game
to go,
changer.
Because if I go up on stage and I don't want you to know I'm nervous, best case
You're
scenario, I'm spending energy trying to not shake.
You're fucked.
Let me shake and be the
Shake.
best version of nervous.
And just go, yeah, I'm nervous. Wow, this is weird. And then now you're going off and thinking about nerves, and it's way better.
And there's such confidence, like the way you said, "Hey man, I'm insecure." There's like people who don't understand that think, "Nah, he's not." No, you are.
Yeah,
but you've
yeah.
accepted it. And there's
Yes.
something attractive, and confidence and insecurity also aren't mutually exclusive.
Sure.
Listen, I'm nervous and I'm going to go soft into condoms, so I just want to let you know you might have to suck my dick first for a little bit.
Right,
It's like,
right.
wow, he's confident. No, he's so insecure, but he's able to communicate it.
Yeah, well, I think you said you're a weird guy or whatever. I think as long as you own it, you're gold. You're fine.
yeah.
Just own it.
And you can't own it until you know it
Yeah.
and accept it
Yeah. Did you do therapy?
constantly.
Yeah, same. It
And-
changed my life.
Yeah.
People are weird about therapy. Friends of mine are like, really? Gosh, shut up. I'm like, it
Yeah.
would help you.
I find that odd because I do see that in shows.
Mm-hmm.
Guys aren't supposed to go to therapy. Maybe because I'm in this bubble of Los Angeles where it feels like therapy is going to the gym.
Yes.
But I don't know. It's a different culture. It's also, for me, it's like it's 2020. Do people still feel? Wait a minute. You're saying that it's weird to have new questions and answers?
I know. It's very strange. And people go, well, what about in the fucking 30s when you had to go to the mill all day? I'm like, yeah.
That sucked.
That sucked. Things are better now. We have the luxury of finding out things about ourselves. Why not? We also have the luxury of clean water. Let's do that too.
Yeah. What about in the old days when you had to go down to the well? Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to go to the well?
Yeah. Go to the well, please. Leave me alone.
How has therapy changed your comedy?
I think it's that annoying line. I think you put it well. It's
Were you an annoying person?
very, very. I listened to Dana Gould once, and he said like his whole 20s was just bothering people, and he eventually calmed down and just kind of became an adult, and it resonated with me because I was like, I was like that. I was like zinging and zanging constantly. I mean, people must have walked away from me and been like, Jesus, that guy's
Right.
a lot, you know?
What were you? You were looking for attention, acceptance.
Looking for attention, acceptance, approval. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be funny. I was so scared of being boring. I would swing on a chandelier with a knife in my teeth and be shirtless.
That's
woo!
a big one for you, being scared of being bored.
Yeah, oh yeah. Everything comes back to that. If you
That's
watch,
why you're so well written.
that's it. I was gonna say, if you watch my act, it's a laugh a second. People go, "Geez, you're such a writery guy." I'm like, I'm just a coward. I'm just scared, you know.
No, that's just this comes from defenses and trauma, but then you create a craft, and because of your path, now you've become this thing.
There you go.
It's not coward. It's just that's your craft now.
Yeah, you take your shit foibles and you channel them into good, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what was that Bruce Lee thing, you know?
Take your shit foibles and you turn it into good.
That was his line.
And we are water, and we could change.
yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
Is that the pod?
I think so.
Damn, there was not a lot of comedy in that. I mean, it was very interesting.
Then it's not it. Then there's one more topic I want to have with you, and
right.
that is not a lot of comedy thing. Sometimes
Again, boring. I
We
worry
talked
we were
about
boring.
it. Yeah. So funny or boring. Those aren't the only two options. There's also interesting.
You're so right. That's
Right?
what my therapist says. He's like, why do you go from hate to love? There's
Right.
a lot in the middle.
It's what you were saying about the Chinese, the high highs and the low lows.
Right. That was a knock. Who is it?
Hello? Nope, that's upstairs.
Oh, sorry.
And I connected that too because as much as logically I know I don't have to be funny all the time, there is a lot of my worth is based on if I'm not funny, why would someone like me?
Same.
So that's what's tough about and why I think this podcast has been so great for me outside of entertainment.
People love the pod.
It's people like this.
They love this because everybody else is fucked up and they're worried and they're nervous and they're neurotic the whole time too. And nobody knows what they're doing. So when they hear us talking about it, they go, geez, these guys are on TV. You're on a fucking sitcom. People just assume we got it made and figured out, I think.
Also, I think that our palate is objectively more sophisticated than others.
Comedically. Yeah.
So we are this, we expect this, we think we want this.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
people at home, the people that will comment on certain things that happen in the podcast that they think are so funny, and I go, really?
Yeah, same. There's somebody driving right now howling, and we don't even, we don't know why.
So there's I've gotten better. I still do feel this way. Not with this one. For whatever reason, sometimes I'm in and I'm really enjoying connecting with you in this conversation. So I am engaged, so I'm not feeling like it's boring.
Yeah, same.
There are other times where I'm like, I know we could have been funnier, and it gets in my way because then it keeps me from being present.
Yes.
So you have that with your podcast?
All the time. I mean, but we will say it. Me and Joe will be like, oh, this is a bet. We're off today. That joke sucked. I hate myself. We got to step it up. What are we doing? So we're both in the same boat. He's nervous about being boring and being not funny.
Right.
You listen to a lot of pods, and they're just like, what's up with you, man? Oh, went to the grocery store, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
There's people listening, you fucking chooch. Bring the yucks. I can't believe when I hear that shit. First of all, I turn it off. But second, I'm like, A, I'm jealous, and B, I hate you.
Jealous because they're fine being
They're
fine.
secure being not that funny.
Yeah, there's a fine line between being fine with what you are, which keeps you from pushing further, and appreciating what you are, which lets you grow in that thing.
That's the key, and I think it's a yin and yang. So in a way, you're like, well, Oprah was molested, but now she's got an empire. But would she have the empire without the molestation?
Yeah,
And
I think she would.
You think?
Yeah, I
don't
think it would be
she
a bigger empire.
I don't think so. I'm
taking a strong stance.
All right.
I
Well,
actually didn't even know Oprah was molested.
sure, big molest. I did it. No, but
even to say no. And here's a deconstruct that's probably me being annoying now. The reason you said no, there's two reasons for it. One,
wait, when I say no?
you said I was the one that did it. No.
Oh, yeah.
There's two reasons for that. There's one, validating that you don't really feel that way.
Sure.
And there's two, there's just the comedy device of like, edit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it didn't land. So if it would have landed, I wouldn't have said no.
Gotcha. That's what it was.
Yeah. If that got a big laugh, I would have just let it
All right,
lie.
let me see how it happens, and it'll land.
Okay.
I didn't even know Oprah was molested.
She was, and I did it.
And then you would take it.
I would take that in and love every minute of it.
I know we said we were done, but I have one more question for you.
Please, I got nowhere to be.
Yeah, you got shows tonight. I guess it's in a while.
What do you think? It's about 6. Let me take a quick gander. 6. All right.
What do you guys think? You think we should keep going?
Call in. Yellow. Yeah, they said keep going.
Okay.
One more question.
Do you let me connect to this from me and tell me if you get it or not.
All right.
My first bit that I have a joke that is a joke that gets an applause break whenever
Yeah.
I do it.
That's a good
The
sign.
first joke I've had some applause breaks before. I don't get it, don't get them all the time.
They're not easy.
But there's one where I know this is one. And like most applause break jokes, it's because it's performance heavy. It's like they're saying, look what you did.
Well
you
done.
spoke fast. That was good. It isn't like they aren't applauding if they read it, right?
Got it.
But I have anticipated the applause break because just from pattern recognition, and I get uncomfortable in it because I have different theories. It doesn't matter. The point is I get uncomfortable in it, so I have had to figure out how am I going to handle an applause break where I'm not sabotaging myself. I used to, when I would get laughs, I used to go, no.
Yeah.
Which was a joke, but the reason was, what am I supposed to do? Like, put my arms up and sit in it?
I get that.
It's kind of like that in multicams. It's so weird because when there's audience laughter, you have to stop because that's the tone of the show. People need to hear the next line. So there's something in the choreography of if you say a joke and then even if I say a joke, but then I have another line after, to sit in the laughter, but have to have a thought to make it look like I'm not waiting for you to laugh.
Yeah. I get that.
So when you get an applause break, is there an insecurity of
course.
And how do you handle that?
I fake like I'm owning it, but the whole time I'm going, all right, come on. You didn't like it that much.
So it's like you just did just now. It's arms up. Look what I just did.
Not arms up. That would just be too cheesy. I would just kind of like take a sip of water and act like I don't notice it.
Right.
Which I think is kind of a cool guy move,
Yeah.
but the whole time I'm freaking out.
When the first time I dunked on somebody in a game.
What?
was in.
Wait, a Jew dunking? Come on.
I'm a great basketball player.
Get out of here.
I was at the JCC, small world.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I dunked on a guy, and the guy that I dunked on was the guy that I wanted to dunk on. There was some shit talking,
I
and
like
for
it.
weeks, like we've known each other.
Good for you.
And I dunked on him, and all my friends were going nuts, and I. Almost how your mom, when she laughs, she goes, "That was dumb." I was like wanting them to like, don't.
Yeah.
I want you to behave like this is like commonplace.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I do this all the time.
Right.
That made me think of when you drink water. Like inside, the chemicals are,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah. That's a funny one.
Wait, did he react?
I don't. I remember my friends reacting and me being like, "Chill, chill, chill." I don't remember how he did.
Oh,
I wasn't even looking at him.
Yeah.
You know, I just like, what the fuck did I just do? I'm trying to. I'm controlling how people receive me,
Sure.
so I'm not present anymore.
Right.
And it was kind of like we were talking about before with being in a podcast, and like if I'm not funny, now I'm not here with you.
Yeah.
Which is an extension of the saying that I'm gay. When we control how other people see us, like if I'm nervous going on stage, if I'm controlling how you see me, I'm not going to be the best version of nervous.
Sure.
So it's almost like a logical cheat. It's not like, look how enlightened I am. I'm not controlled by other people. It's just, oh, I'm going to be worse off.
Right.
So it's like this, I got lucky by not knowing for so long that I realized my best version is, you know, people say you can't please everybody. And,
Right.
you know, I get that theory, and that's a fun religion, but could you visualize that? And it's like, I can visualize that.
Yeah. Well, when it happens, it's different than you think it's going to be. You know, we all know, hey, you can't please everybody. Go, yeah, duh, no shit. But then when you see that lady in the front row going, you're like, oh, this is it. You have to remind yourself, like, this is part of
This is one of the not
This is
everybody's.
one of the not everybody.
Yeah.
Even though at the time you're like, fuck you, lady, you don't get it. You suck. You have no sense of humor. But no, she's one of the everybody. But that took me a long time.
Yeah, it's like it's funny how directly correlated doing stand-up and being received by people and being in the real world and being received by people are the same, but we separate it. And
Yeah.
like when you bomb for however many years you bomb, I am so good at it that my act has been developed around, you know,
Bomb?
making mistakes.
Oh, interesting.
You know, and going up there and fumbling over something and
Sure.
you know, whatever the version of that may be, it works because I know I'm comfortable in it.
Yeah,
so now I
yeah.
could write comedy in that
Oh,
physics,
interesting.
right?
Interesting.
So I'm not worried about bombing. I don't want to bomb. I don't like doing it. But when it happens and I feel it, I'm not affected by it.
Really? I'm crushed, frazzled.
If I'm dating a girl who hasn't seen me enough, then I am.
Yeah.
If it's an audience, I'm not.
Really?
Not at all.
I wonder if that's good or bad.
I think it's fantastic. Where the problem was, I went so long by thinking by having this star for 45 minutes to where I'm the best no matter what, and I didn't consider that not everybody likes Mario.
Yeah.
But being able to have that star and then go in different games and write outside of fuck me, fuck them, I'm the best.
Yeah.
But not being affected is amazing.
I guess so, yeah.
But when you bomb, I guess I was wrong. I was anticipating that you were to say that you're fine when you bomb.
No. I'm
Gotcha.
all for them. I'm here to entertain. You paid money. If I'm bombing, I have guilt, I have shame.
Guilt because they paid to see you?
Yeah, and they're sitting and watching, and, you know, their attention span is probably like, oh, we hate this guy.
Right.
So I get all kinds of bad feelings dumped on me.
But when you're bombing, do you know why you're bombing?
Not always. Sometimes you know, and that's better. But when you don't know, you're like, this shit works. What the fuck did I do? You know, that's when I'm like freaking out. I'm like, it's me. My core sucks. They hate me.
You know what? I'm changing my opinion a little bit. There's a different pressure that I have little experience with when people come out to see me versus me doing 15, 20 minutes in the middle of a show.
Right.
So you're right. I bet you I would feel differently. But I think I would get used to that
Right.
because I bomb in life
Yeah.
and I'm fine.
Yeah. See, I think you're stronger in that way than I am.
I recognize the patterns of it and I'm used to it now.
Right. I'm a big replay in the head guy. Why did I say that? I've really bugged that guy or that girl. What was I thinking? That's a big part of my life,
Gotcha.
which is not good. Now, let me ask you a question. Are all the
No.
Okay. Are all the pods this good, or is this a special one?
You feel this is good?
I feel, well, I would listen to this.
Oh, I
think
love that. I love that. I love
I
that
think it's
you,
riveting.
my guest, feels
But
it's good.
I mean, also, I'm a comedian, and we're talking heavy comedy here. We're talking deep shit comedy-wise.
So my girlfriend asks me how it went after every podcast. I don't know why she keeps asking because I always tell her the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
You can feel it. You feel something.
1 out of every 10, I feel something, and I might be wrong. There's an episode I'm like, this is no good. I don't want to post it. And then George says, post it, and it does great.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And vice versa. I don't know. But what I've started to tap into by recognizing how I feel during it and then what the final product is how did I feel during the podcast? If I was laughing a lot, I don't know how they're going to feel about it, but I had, so it's funny. This is a funny podcast to me.
Yeah.
Most of the time I don't know because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am, not to take away from you, this coffee that I made was strong as fuck.
Oh, really?
I'm in.
You are in.
I haven't been talking. I don't mean in like on fire. I mean in like, it's you and me here, baby.
In is good. That's what you want. That people want to watch an in couple.
Also, I've been wanting to have you on the podcast for probably a month or two now, at least.
Yeah,
And
same.
I've been excited about you coming out.
All right.
Being excited about you coming, I've like watched your stuff, and it's like he's funny. I've listened to you on I listened to you on other people's podcasts, looking because not research, but I want to know more about you. And I've become a fan of yours. So now, like,
thanks.
you're here, you're funny. We kind of have a similar way of thinking. So I'm feeling understood. You're feeling understood. So I just literally feel good talking to you.
I feel good too.
So that makes me feel like, fuck, this podcast is great.
All right, let's fuck.
Woo,
that never came so hard.
So sometimes during snap edits, there are the stuff that happened between the edit is so funny where I go back and forth and I think, do I not do the snap edit? But for this one, as we discussed, stick around for the end.
Yeah, nice little.
You can see how we choreographed
Easter egg.
who sucks who and who's on top and who gets fucked and who does the fucking.
Yeah. Very ego heavy, very hetero.
Yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, I love this podcast.
Yeah, people love it. How did you get out there? Because it's so hard to break. There's 8 zillion pods. What was
You think this podcast broke?
Yeah, but just the amount of people hitting me up saying I got to do it.
Fuck yeah, I love that. I feel like this podcast is going to. I'm excited. Like I think what I do. Like I think my podcast is great.
Yeah,
I have great guests.
Yeah,
I think I'm really good at this.
Yeah, the snapping is fun.
Snap's fun. It isn't at that point yet. But I think.
Well, that lineup you got coming up, I think you're gonna get some numbers.
I've been from the beginning. The guests I've had people. I asked some people that I know that are higher profile, and it's cool that they're willing to do it.
Yeah.
I've also asked people that I don't know that well that I was shocked that they did it. Role models have come over here that I would want turn the cameras off. I want to have this conversation.
Give me a name. I mean,
on my bulletin board, directors I want to work with. There's 2 names. There's David Wayne and there's Edgar Wright.
Oh,
and I had David Wayne here.
Wow.
And I don't know if you're a
Stella.
David Wayne fan. Stella, that's where I got into David.
Yeah.
Stella's amazing.
And he did it. What did he do? Wanderlust?
Yeah, but what was Stellar got me into him, and then What Hot American Summer,
Oh, that's right.
role
Of
models,
course.
and they came together. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's on the couch for 2 hours. I still don't know if it was a good podcast. People have given me good feedback. It was an older one before more people were seeing it.
Yeah.
But it was me literally asking him questions about comedy and directing, and he has a similar thing to me, which is people don't know when he's joking or serious.
Right.
And like talking about how you contextualize that on screen versus in reality, and has he gotten in trouble with this stuff and inspiration and how has he found a way of letting people know it's a joke without winking to them? And
Yeah.
why are you in my living room?
Right.
You know what I mean? I've had that on my bulletin board for years.
That's pretty crazy.
So it's been great, and I think this podcast has been taking off, relatively speaking, for how long as I've been out because of the video element of it.
Your video's big. We did video and that really pumped it up.
But the video I do with this, it's 3 cameras. I do lots of edits. Whenever we talk about someone, the pictures come up and the
that's
cutaways
good.
and the clips. And I've done less like I would love to have cut to a Conan clip of yours.
Sure.
And I did that with some before, but then I can't get monetized for it anymore. And it's like it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, but it's the love of the art of it. The integrity.
It was for a while.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I'm buying hard drives. I'm now
True.
getting some editing help. Shout out to Pepe and Perry.
Pepe.
And I'm losing money on this podcast.
I get it.
So I had to say, my girlfriend was the one who told me to do this. It was, because for the longest time, and I'm sure you could relate to this as a stand-up, but just also being out here and like wanting to do film and television and eventually doing some and doing sketches constantly. Mm-hmm. I've been working for free forever.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's commonplace.
Yeah.
I'm just working for free.
That's part of it.
But yeah, hey man, you're 35.
Right.
You know,
But-
make money.
But if you know it's the one, it's the thing, I think it's an investment, not just losing money.
It's a fine line. I agree. Absolutely. I'm spending a lot of money working on this, but both money and my time. I mean, some of these things I was putting in 30 hours a week editing. Now I'm getting help.
Wow.
It's a lot. I'm
That's
putting
a
a lot
lot.
in. But also, I don't have to put your Conan clip in. I could put a link up that forwards
Right.
to it and put it in the thing. Check
Right.
it out. Make the extra $150 an episode so I could cover some editing costs.
Right. Well, do you have a ad person?
An ad person.
You know,
to
person
get me
who gets you ads.
We're doing ground floor.
I'll give you my gal, and she'll help you out.
I don't think my numbers are enough.
But I mean, I think they could get there.
I think I have to wait till I get there.
All right.
I mean,
but it's totally worth
I
it.
would love that connect.
And you get free shit. We got an away bag or
What's an away bag?
It's a suitcase that's like really cool and modern. It's got a battery pack in it.
Well, we never got into you're doing Blue Chew now.
Yeah, I just try it, But I don't really have boner problems unless I like the girl.
Sure.
You get that?
I understand that.
Yeah.
But no, it's you have boner problems when you're not present. When you're worried about something.
Yes.
And then the other way. Like if I
Oh.
don't really like the girl.
I think you're more in the majority. I think I've talked to people like, but you like her, and I'm like, I know, that's why I can't see her sexually.
You're not in a relationship.
I am.
How long you guys been together?
Couple years. But
Unprotected sex?
yeah, but the beginning was brutal. Like I was doing Viagra because I was freaking out. I couldn't get it up.
Did she know you were doing it?
No. So I hope she never hears this.
Really?
But it was because I liked her. It was a compliment. But like
I understand.
if I used to bang some floozy on the road, I was rock hard. She was like, "Wow, you really like me?" I'm like, "No, I hate you."
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't
That's
hate
so
you,
dark.
but you know what I mean.
Math. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's math. You mean nothing to me. That's why I'm hard.
Right.
So
there's nothing to lose. It's going up in front of an audience who gives a fuck.
Exactly.
I could bomb here.
I'm a porn star with this gal.
And that is the point I'm making. When you're worried about the bomb, when it affects
Yes.
you, you're not your best self.
No.
So it's not like, hey man, don't be scared. You're going to be. But when you could logically understand, if taking the control of knowing the best version of me is to know that I'm allowed to bomb.
right.
I am, and here's better than that. I'm going to bomb. Not saying that you're planning on bombing, but knowing if not today, the next time,
Yes.
or it's going to happen.
Yes.
There's nothing you could do about it.
Right.
But when you care about the girl, when you care about the audience, when you care about the set, if it's
You're
a taping,
fucked.
yeah, and that's why I recommend Blue Chew before every stand-up set.
There you
need
go.
a boner before you perform? Blue Chew, promo code SHOES. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. I think if we're walking away from this, the nugget to hold on to is if you're nervous, accept. It's all about acceptance.
Yeah.
Even though it's easier said than done, you got to work at it.
Here's more specific on that. If you're nervous, this is a little spiritual. You're supposed to be nervous.
There you go. You're
Like,
human. You're alive.
Yeah, you're supposed to. I mean,
Right.
the reason you are this way is because the chemicals in your body are doing that. This is how you're supposed to feel right now.
Yes.
Don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something very attractive about going up on stage. You still need to have an act. You still need to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
But being truthful and saying, I've been doing this for 12 years. I am petrified right now.
Yeah.
So I just want you guys to know that if I remember I did a set once where I threw up. It was at Bar Lubitsch. You ever perform there?
I love that room.
I'm in the bathroom, throwing up,
Wow.
and I am not just next on stage. As I'm walking out the door, ladies and gentlemen, Rick Glassman. So like I'm being brought up while I'm wiping my mouth.
Whoa.
And I was scared that I just threw up. I'm going to throw up again. You know, when you have to poop, you have to poop.
Yeah.
And I made a decision in that moment that I've thought about since, and it's helped me more than throwing up, which is if I throw up, I'm going to throw up, and I'm not going to acknowledge it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And it's a bit now.
Yeah.
And it gives me the control. If I
That's
throw up, I'm
gold.
supposed to. What a great bit to have.
Great bit.
Imagine my sister just flew in, and boy, her throw up, and her arms she's fine, but
Yeah,
she's
that's
tired.
gold. I love it.
Come on, a throw up bit.
Now you got to just gag yourself every show. 'cause
I've
that's
thought
your
about that
new-
with a
your
pants
new-
pants piss bit. I'm like, I don't want to have to piss my pants all the
Nah,
time.
then you got wet pants. It's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I like that. I was watching MMA. Do you ever watch MMA?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. I just got into it. I always thought of it. I'm going to be honest here. I always thought it was like Neanderthal-y and kind of like meatheady.
Still do think that, but I watch it.
I watch it too, and I love it. now. I'm like hooked on it. I watch it on YouTube all night. I'm staying up too late, and you get all keyed up in your fucking bed. You can't sleep, and you're hard. And so I was watching the Conor Cowboy fight. You remember that one? It was like a big deal.
I couldn't watch it because I had a game night, blah, blah, blah. But when I got back, it was what I thought it would be. And it's like, I didn't need to spend the 65 on that. I watched after.
It was like, what, 40 seconds, the whole thing? But they interviewed them pre-fight, and Cowboy was like, every fight I do, I'm terrified. I puke. I go in myself. I'm insecure. I'm nervous. I have to pace. The whole time you're walking down that tunnel, everybody's cheering. I'm freaking out. And I was like, you are? It blew my mind. You're a fighter. Like, that's the scariest thing you can do is just face-to-face fight a talented fighter and get your
in front of everybody.
Clock cleaned. Yeah, in front of everybody. You're going to be knocked out like this.
Right.
In front of a million people or zillions of people. And I remember being like, we're all fine. And then he got knocked out. But we're all fine.
Everyone feels that way.
Everyone.
That's what it's just adrenaline.
Yeah.
I want to feel something. I want to care before I go on stage.
But we think not caring is this perfect way to live, but it's the worst way to live because then you won't feel.
Right. There's like a difference between not caring and not being affected by.
That's the
Care.
message.
It's like people say, I hate when people try hard. Yeah, you don't want to be trying to be funny, but you also want to try and perfect your craft.
Yes.
You want to put in effort, but just be genuine.
Right. And Bill Burr, who's a fantastic comedian, he's up there going, all right, that did okay. Even though he looks so effortless and fluid and confident.
What do you mean he's up there? I think I understand.
He's up there in his head going, that joke didn't get what I wanted. That usually does better. Oh, that hit. All right. Oh, I'm going to walk over here now. Time out the water sip. Like, he's doing all that. Don't get
Have you talked to him about this?
Oh, yeah. Don't get it twisted. I never have, but I know it. I know Dave Chappelle is going, take a drag right now with a cigarette.
Yeah.
This will look cooler this way. It's all orchestrated.
Right.
That's all fabricated. It's all planned. It's all worked out. We think these guys are gods and oracles and all this shit, but it's all experience.
Yeah. Did going on Rogan, did Rogan get you into MMA?
No.
Just coincidence?
It just, I don't know. I hate to say it, but I think it was like all the cancel culture. I got angry. I got like angry by Twitter and everything, and I never used to have this anger, and it bugged me. And I think watching MMA was like, you
still angry?
Like, what?
You still angry?
I'm not angry, but I felt like aggression a little bit. I don't want to hurt anybody or whatever, or yell at anybody, but like, I think some of it bothered me, and it's like, I'm not good with, I'd go to my therapist, I'm like, this lady is so mean to me, she hates me, and this woman I knew, and I would tell him why.
We'll put up her Instagram handle here.
Yeah, I would tell him why, and he was like, oh, she's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to just dismiss somebody as crazy, and he's like, well, what happened? And I tell him, and he's like, yeah, that's irrational and ridiculous. She's a nutty person. I was like, yeah, but I must be doing something. He's like, you have to accept she's crazy. It's like when you tell a homeless person, like, hey, you're standing in the middle of the street shitting, pull your pants up. And they go, I'll kill you. And you're like, why would you want to kill me? I'm very, like, A to B in that way, like very literal and autistic-y. And I couldn't understand.
Have you been diagnosed with autism?
No, I'm too scared to go in.
Could I tell you something?
Yeah.
Talking about the awareness that I came into a few years ago, I was diagnosed with autism. And changed my life.
Is that right?
The information, I mean, I guess you could do it without a diagnosis. I just hadn't. But knowing that, reading certain books and seeing why I was the way I was as a kid, which I've talked about this in some podcasts, and I feel that there's something not politically correct about this. But as I've grown up, I'm fine now, as if to say you're not fine the other way. But
I get it.
I have less obstacles. I have more awareness, and I have more tools. A lot of which I had to build on my own that were inefficient. But I've been I've been learning so much about how I receive things and how other people receive me. It's changed my comedy. It's changed my relationships. It's changed my self-acceptance. And she's in LA, but I could give you the information of the person who.
Yeah, please.
It was
give me a quick, back room diagnosis, if you don't mind. Like,
what do you mean?
Could you do it to me real quick?
I can't diagnose you.
Well, if you had to take a ballpark guess.
Oh, I mean, it would be ignorant because it would be. But I mean, yeah, I would say like certain mannerisms I'm seeing in you are things that I have seen or heard about, but. What I've learned about autism, one of the big things about and talking about it, because talking about it, I love talking about it because it's how I think and it's new things I've learned and it's interesting to me. But there's also a lot of people have their idea of what it means. And I've been in situations where I had to sell to somebody my diagnosis that turns me off so much because it's not I'm not like getting a scholarship because of this now.
You're
It's
not-
just
you don't have a hook.
It's just changed. It's helped
Yes,
things,
of course.
And I've even go back and forth if I want to talk about this on stage much. And what I've decided at the moment is I'll talk about it, but I don't want to make the set about it. Because I don't. It does feel like somebody could a hook. I don't want this to be a hook because it's not.
Right.
But where I'm at now with it is I only know so much about it, and the majority of what I know is my experience, and everybody has their own experience with it. But the way to talk about like your eye contact and the you taking things literally and the you not connecting with people who don't connect with you, which that actually means is one, the surface thing, but also it means that you don't realize that other people think differently than you.
Sure.
That was a big one for me, which is, listen, it's jokes, but you have to recognize that they don't know that or they don't care.
Of course.
Doesn't mean they're wrong.
Right. No, of course.
So with some of those things, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised to hear you want to get the diagnosis.
Yeah, well, people have told me they think I am. That's why I ask.
What it did for me was it opened a door for new questions.
Sure.
That have been very efficient and beautiful.
Interesting.
So I'll give you the information. She's in Los Angeles. I'm sure she could recommend to somebody else.
You can't do it over the phone. It's not like a quiz.
It was multiple. No, it's you can't take a blood test or anything or like.
Well, I know blood test, but like I can't answer a couple questions.
I mean,
and knock
maybe
it out.
Maybe.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you could just feel like you are, and then just do the research.
Yeah, that's
because
a good point.
when I got the diagnosis, I was both relieved and, what's the word where you don't trust? Suspicious of it. As I started reading some things, there's a book that I'll tell you about this after. I forgot what it is. I might put it up on the screen here.
Quran.
This is Quran. It's written by a guy who was diagnosed as an adult, and this story is common. A lot of adults are diagnosed when their kid is because it's genetic. And then they take their kid to the specialist because it's more understood now. And then they say, hey, by the way, so he found out he was diagnosed basically right around when his kid was. And he's writing this book coming from the point of view as an adult diagnosis. And hearing the way he felt as a kid, how he feels now, it was, holy shit.
Yeah.
It let me see patterns of my life that were up to that point unrelated.
Wow.
Which was comforting.
Connect the dots a little.
Oh, this is why to a lot of things, you know?
Yes.
So,
yes.
you could read that book without the diagnosis and connect.
I think with comedy, though, comedy kind of cures autism for a split second. I know that's a weird thing to say, but, you say something, it's a laugh, and you go, okay, that's what I thought. I feel better.
Yeah.
It's almost like soothing in a way.
That's because...
And it helps you see things differently, obviously, than everyone else.
A lot of the negative feelings behind autism come from the challenge to connect, both for me and you to connect, right? So, and this is what I was talking about. I've developed my own tools. As you're talking about, comedy is a huge tool for different people for a myriad of reasons. But one of them is connecting.
Yes.
And if you have problems connecting with your mom, with your friends, with your whatever, and if you could get a laugh now, what that means, it's validating that we're on the same page, which you might not be. They may be laughing at something else.
But it's something.
Yeah. So a tool that you've learned is, hey, tell so-and-so I say hello. Now I am now I have a mission, and I have to tell so-and-so that they said hello, or I'm fucked.
Yeah.
But I can't go, no.
I totally have that.
So you find shtick.
Yes.
You find comedy. And I go, I'm not, it's very Larry David. I feel he has a very similar thing, which is, I don't say, how you doings? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to tell him that. And now, not only do I not have to have the blinders on until I see this person, which, by the way, inevitably, they're going to give the ball back to me and say, now tell them you say hello.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I just carry this around for 2 days.
Yes.
So by saying that, not only are you setting a boundary, you're now connecting, because if you get a laugh out of it, oh, that's funny. I guess I don't like saying hello either. Now you've connected. So it's just tools.
Right.
But there are other efficient tools. For example, you could erase the saying, hey, what time's the show? I'm gay. That is getting in your way because you're manipulating another person. It's it's energy, and they're now not seeing you. And that's the problem. You think they're not going to see you think they're going to see you wrong because you didn't say I'm gay.
Right.
When the truth is they're going to see you through their eyes, through their trauma, through their experiences.
Anyway.
And you're not going to control it.
Right.
The best case scenario is, for whatever reason, if you think it's fate, or if it's just reaching an equilibrium. I meet somebody, they meet me. Are we both on a similar frequency? If so, it works. If not, I don't need to tell you I'm gay. It's not going to work.
I'm just so insecure that I'll never feel that comfort.
That insecurity is coming from you setting this pattern of communication and thinking this is how it works.
I'm too deep in, Glassy.
You just stop saying things. Stop
All
trying
right, I'll try it.
Stop trying to control people.
But some people write back like, that's hilarious. So that's kind of nice.
It's not black and white.
Yeah,
it's
of course,
also
of
Chinese.
Course. Right.
Do you understand?
It's not Obama.
You don't have to stop doing it. Like I said, cross the line. Just know why you're doing it. If you want to smoke weed or have a shot of whiskey or drink a coffee before a show, do it. But if you're doing it because you have to, and maybe you'll still do it, you're relying on it.
That's bad news. I'm with you.
And just, you know what? That's not that big of a deal. I will sometimes get high if I don't feel it before a set.
Right.
It's fine. I mean, maybe it's not. But
right.
But at what point are you changing yourself and relying on something outside yourself, not because you have to, but because you told yourself you have to?
Yeah, that's bad.
So maybe you'll get the laugh and say I'm gay. So do it sometimes.
All right.
But if you're doing it because you think that they're not going to like me, sit in it.
All right, I like that. That's
Yeah.
good advice. I gotta pee.
All right.
I'm
well,
gay.
we're gonna thank you. Go ahead. Or where can people see you?
Oh, I'm all over the road this year. MarkNormanComedy.com. Come see
Instagram.
me live. Instagram is at Mark Normand and Twitter at Mark Norm. And go listen to my pod. We're very similar in our weirdness.
It's Stories with Two. What's it called?
Tuesdays with Stories.
Tuesdays with
Which
Stories.
is a play on Tuesdays with Maury. So yeah, check it out.
We'll put all the links in the blah, blah, blah.
There you go. For no money. He's going to put the links up and not get any payment. And if you want that, you give me the autism whore and I'll give you the ad skank and we'll match up.
You heard it here first. I give him the autism whore. He'll give me the ad skank. Thank you so much. You can go pee. I'm just doing the sign off.
Praise Allah.
You see, you did it.
I did it.
You did it. You felt uncomfortable with the exit. Go back and give a sincere exit.
Oh, we're teaching.
Go back, give
Teachable moment.
a thank you so much and say something. No joke.
Oh God. Thank you so much. No joke.
Couldn't do it.
Kind of a joke. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun and oh shit, I'm talking to the wrong end. Thank you so much for having me. This is fun, enlightening, and I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Okay.
Ah, that was tough. That sucked.
All right, guys. Scoot doo, bubbity blue.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue.
Are you comfortable with on that snap with us doing a fuck bit?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
What do I care?
All right, and then we're gonna have to go right back to snapping. There.
Okay. What do you want to do? Doggy style on the table here?
Yeah. Do you want to fuck me or you want me to fuck you?
That's a good question.
Scoop dee. Oh yeah.